Welcome to another episode of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. I was be like, is it running? I don't know. I realize now that I don't have my streaming software pulled up for me to see. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome to another episode of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons Descent into Avernus, where I descend into Avernus. So let's do a little intro of each person and their a brief description of their character's name, race, and preferred profession, I guess one might say. as a point, as far as D&D metagaming goes. I'll start with myself this time. We'll work around the other way. I am Vallen. I'll be playing Palkas, who is a wild magic sorcerer half-orc. And that's pretty much it. Moving on from me, we've got... I almost said Nightcaste here for a second.
I am here.
You are here. I'll just say Tim. Right there.
Hi, I'm Ghostwoods. I'm playing Thorn. Mismanaging Thorn, more likely. Thorn is an elven ranger with a habit of leaping down rabbit holes.
Mm-hmm. Moving on from Thorn, we currently have NobiGit over here.
I'm playing, spoiler alert, a shifter who, I know it says monk, but it's not entirely the case.
Right.
But call him a priestly monk, I guess.
Okay. And
He's a holy monk.
What's that?
He's a holy monk.
Holy pain in the, yeah.
And then moving on from Navi, we've got Shy.
Hi, I'm Shy. I'm playing as Coyra, a half-elf druid, and I'm still surviving.
And then from that, moving further down, we've got, and I'm reading the names on the sheet instead of, which isn't helping because I'm actually saying a different name.
Okay.
And we've got Nightcaste at the end there.
Hello, I'm Nightcaste. I'm playing Malvola. He is a dragonborn hexblade cursed with horrible dice rolls, apparently, except for that every once in a while where he does something amazing, but 99% of the time it's like fans.
At least you haven't died.
Hey, you stepped up to the plate when most of the party was dead or dying, so that's what matters.
Hey.
All right, and then up from Nightcast, we've got Kashcah.
Hi, I'm kashcah. I'm DM for the campaign.
Descent. Not ascent, descent into Avernus.
I mean, if you're going up into Avernus,
It's going to be farther
if
fall
Avernus
down.
is above, that's a bigger problem, perhaps. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
The only way is up.
So let's do a little recap of last episode. Was that 8? What did I put for today's episode? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Today is episode 9, regardless of what it might say for the description. But last episode, we rested at the Elf Song Tavern after having vanquished the cultists from the dungeons below the spa. And we met a new friend called Grim, who is extremely happy and joyous about being tied up and
So
kept captive.
talkative as well. Super talkative guy. Just wouldn't
We
shut
think
up.
honestly he was just kind of playing along with them because he quickly got out of his bonds and exacted revenge upon his captors.
Yeah, I'm secretly a spy.
Yes, 100%. But then we sold our findings through Thorn's fence, and we had the rest identified at a temple of Ayun, and also found a list just kind of folded into one of the spell books that we had found, and it contained information important to Thorn, the Book of Fragments. We went to the Low Lantern Tavern, a docked boat and tavern. It was like a tavern on a boat that is a tavern, in search of Amrick Van Thampier, and faced him about his brother's claims to basically how the Van Thampiers had been undermining the city's efforts to try and keep it under control so that they can gain control. He denied it all, but Thorn lashed out at him, seeing through his lies. Short battle later, and Amrick surrendered. He then offered up the truths we were seeking and offered to get us into the Van Thamper estate to have an audience with his mother, which apparently is a very fearsome woman and not one easy to get an audience with. Though we, of course, have him pretty much held as hostage at this point. Yay! Good characters.
I'm sure that, I mean, what could possibly go wrong there?
On leaving the Low Lantern Tavern, we saw a cloaked figure approach and greet us, of which we don't know much about. Kashcah, you want to give us the description and all that stuff again?
So she is, when she was walking towards you, you could hear armor kind of moving, clanking a little bit, but she is cloaked otherwise. Then she, as she approached you, she kind of, you could see she had one hand kind of, like she looked a little bit nervous. She had one hand resting on the hilt of what looks like a longsword. And then as she's walking up, she reaches up with the other one, pulls back her hood, and reveals the face of what looks like a teenager. She has brown skin, red hair, and a haunting gaze. So that's who is approaching you.
I want to cast magic missile.
She is.
Sorry.
And then the wild surge blows up the boat.
And all burn, and the end.
Wow.
Thanks for showing up.
That would be pretty good. That'd be pretty good. How many floors would the fireball go through?
The irony is we'd probably survive and then be hunted by the entire city.
Blowing up our favorite tavern.
Okay.
Okay. So she's walking up right now.
We've got company.
Does she look familiar to any of us? Or does she look familiar to Thorn?
You have not seen this woman before.
Palkas readies himself for battle, but doesn't actually try to do anything besides just keep the Van Thamper guy still. Amrick, was it? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And is that her by the entrance to the
It is, yeah.
thing off the ship? Right.
It is.
Which he's bound, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good as hands tied. So I'll step in front of the group and smile at her and say, "Hello, I'm Thorn."
She steps up and says, "Thorn," and she does look quite nervous. And she's kind of looking around a bit. And specifically, she's looking at Amrick as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she notices the stairs, and she's kind of looking down the stairs, and she says, "Perhaps there's a place we could talk."
Actually, you kind of find us between places where we can talk.
She says, "Can we? Can we go back downstairs to? I need to talk to you about this man." And she points at Amrick.
Well, I mean, we just kind of made a grand sweeping exit and through
Somewhere more.
Yeah, okay. Let's go back downstairs. What the hell?
A more neutral location might be better.
Maybe. I mean,
Someplace where his influence doesn't mean anything.
It didn't.
Yeah, it didn't really.
She says, "Wherever you want." And she kind of looks around again and says, I'd rather not be out in the open at the moment." And she pulls her hood back up.
Palkas says, "We're being watched," and points to the birds.
Yeah, Coyra also says understandable. Those two
Great,
can be
we sound
trusted.
sane.
She looks up. Let's
yes,
go.
Let's go back down to the bar.
I agree.
if you don't want to be out in the open. Let's just go
Oh.
downstairs. It'll be
We'll
quick.
get to see the crab again.
Yeah, exactly. It's crap, but it's nice. I at least will head back downstairs.
Okay. Let's see. Things have kind of. You will see. Let's see.
Zoom back out.
People are kind of moving around a bit. It's like take that
What?
person out of the way.
They're NPCs. They're not allowed to move around.
They're only allowed to move around from rear render distance. Come on.
This guy's gonna be downstairs now, attending to that. Okay. All right. Yeah. So she'll follow you downstairs.
Well, there's a table. That's convenient. Let's do that. As we walk past the bar, at least, I'm going to say to the captain, I'm sure I've seen you somewhere before. Then I'm going to ask for Kinky for 7 beers or whatever it is that we need. I think it's 7 if we go on for Amrick as well.
Okay. What are you guys kind of like? What you gonna do with Amrick?
Just hustle him along. It'll be fine. We can shiv him in the kidneys if we have to.
Okay.
Or, something more chaotic good and less just murderous.
If needed at any time, Palkas is eager to just pick him up by both arms and just move him to a place.
Yeah. I mean, he's pretty banged up.
Alright. So kind of shove him in the corner. This person kind of seeing trouble makes their way up to the bar instead. Seems like this is not going to be a friendly conversation. Or she sees like Amrick's, being kind of tied and moves away from what she perceives might be trouble. So the woman says, I believe that's Amrick Van Thamper, isn't it?
Yes, head of the Dark 3 cult in the city.
She says, I have interest in this man and his family.
So do a lot of people.
Get in line.
I mean, what sort of interest? Do you want to marry him or something?
She says,
She
kind of looks like slightly horrified at this.
A second later, I would have had this in my mouth. The
Unless, of course, you're eager to become a widow.
I mean, there are career benefits to it.
I mean, money-wise too.
Yeah.
She says no. She says, I believe his family is key to an investigation I'm trying to conduct.
Does it involve cultists of the gods of death and murder and so on?
She says, not that I know of, she says, but I'm just beginning down this road. And I have a lot that...
Apparently it does now.
Okay, she says, perhaps you can fill me in on what you know. She says, I'm here to understand. My investigation is to understand what happened to Elturel.
Who are you?
She kind of looks at Palkas like a little bit like a little slightly afeared. She says, my name is Rhea.
Sorry, who's Elturel?
Elturel's the city.
The city that disappeared.
Oh, that, yes. Apparently the Van Thampers had it dragged down to hell.
She says, she just, like, any colour that was in her face kind of drains from it.
It's probably not good news, I know, I'm sorry. But apparently that's what happened. They used it to get rid of the head of the Flaming Fist, Duke, I don't know, Ravenhammer or something equally pompous. I forget. They lured him out there and then just
Older Raven Guard.
Yeah, close enough. They consigned it to the Hells to get rid of him, and maybe for other reasons as well.
She says, well, surely for other reasons, because aren't there easier ways to get rid of a single person instead of moving a whole city?
I mean, you'd have thought.
I don't think that's the full extent of what she's after.
That being Duke Van Vanbershee. Presumably.
Though that does confirm what Mr. Liar here was spelled.
She says...
I'd like to insight check Rhea, by the way.
Okay. All right, yeah, go for it.
All right.
Did you have family in El Torel?
She says, no, she says, I was... She kind of like leans in a little bit closer to say this. She says, I was training there. She says...
Oh. Jedi Knight.
She says, I'm a Hell Rider.
That sounds very impressive.
Would we know what a Hell Rider is?
And I think anybody who has significant time in Baldur's Gate might. If you don't, you could make like a intelligence check to see if you remember.
What is a Hell Rider?
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
For those that do know.
Where is it? Intelligence.
I don't think Thorn
Just
would know.
sorry, there it is.
Oh.
Apparently Coyra knows.
Coyra knows everything.
Coyra is a Hell Rider.
Palkas has been here for some time.
So, Coyra, you remember, you remember the most detail, and others will remember most, some of this. But Hell Riders were the protective kind of force at Elturel. They were, basically kind of the guards of the city. And they were also involved in, being that you rolled a natural 20, you'd also remember that they were involved in the Blood Wars at some point. They had like so like the Blood Wars being the kind of massive battle between inhabitants of the Abyss and inhabitants of the Hells, and the Blood Riders were kind of allied with Zariel to participate in this, and this was like a few hundred years ago. The Hell Riders have been around for a very long time. And they currently, though, that they are being hunted by the Flaming Fist, because the Flaming Fist believe that the Hell Riders have captured what's his name?
Older.
There you go.
Raven
that guy. Yes.
Wait, so the city's policing force is believed to have captured the Duke of this city?
Yeah, you'd also, most of you would know that there is kind of a rivalry between Elturel and Baldur's Gate. Oh, sorry, Elturel and Baldur's Gate. Yeah.
One more.
This is an awkward situation all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's not that awkward. We don't really care, do we?
So she kind of like, she kind of leans across the table towards Amrick and says, where is Thavius Creek?
Who is Thavius Creek?
Why is Thavius Creek?
Might I interject? I rolled an insight check a while ago.
Good, good.
What were you going to say?
I rolled an insight a while ago. I
oh,
don't
okay.
know
Sorry.
the results apparently.
You think she seems very nervous, but she also seems quite naive, she seems to be honest, in a very naive way.
Yes, I mean, she just said that she's a Hell Rider, and you mentioned that too loud here. She's gonna get captured by a bunch of flaming fists who aren't afraid of I don't know, capturing nobles in their own city. Sorry. Please continue.
You can't mean us.
No.
We're annoyed draftees.
We're
Well, I'm an annoyed
hardly
draftee.
flaming fists.
Yeah.
But I saw some flaming fists do this. Man, they were rude.
She says, so she kind of ignores you guys mocking her a bit, and kind of stares at Amrick with with some serious intensity, like there's some anger and passion behind this stare down, and she says, "I know your family has him. Where is he?"
I'll poke him in the forehead and say, answer the lady.
Amrick says, I don't know what to tell you, except if you're a Hellrider, I would be very careful in this city.
Palkas pulls a torch out of his bag and says, "You don't want to know where I can put this." Answer properly.
I don't think any of
Or
us
don't
want to know
answer. I'd imagine the rest of the group's kind of reaction probably speaks for itself.
Except maybe Grim, because he's never seen what you've done with a torch, and at this point doesn't want to know what you do with it.
Actually, you might have. You saw a torch probably take out that magic user out by you.
Yeah.
I was sort of bound and gagged and focused on
Fair
getting
enough.
loot.
Okay.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
So you were saying...
Make an intimidate check. They're going to try and intimidate. So Amrick says, you keep insist on asking the wrong person questions about my family business.
You're the only one of your family we have here tied up at the moment. It's just logistics, old chap.
He says, that doesn't make me magically have the answers, old chap.
That's a fair point.
I thought nobles were supposed to have manners.
Really?
Who sold you that lie?
I'm so sorry, Palkas. We'll have to cue you of that one. Can I try an insight on whatever it's called, our captive?
Amrick?
Amrick?
I was about to ask the same.
Sure.
Who's playing one?
I'm going to make an insight check on everybody.
Start rolling.
I don't believe
How
any
many
of
rolls have you?
So how many are in the bot? Does
I don't
Cap
mean
also
quite
count?
that to everybody.
Oh.
So you're trying to see if he's telling the truth? Is that your goal?
Yeah. If he really doesn't know about this guy.
You don't think he's being 100% honest with you?
Okay. Well, I'll stare him in the eye and say, you know more than you're telling. I can see that. You're like a book of flesh and muscle and gristle bound in skin. I don't want to open it. But it wouldn't be the first time.
I would like you to make an intimidation check as well, please. see if he buys it.
Oh, thank you.
Actually,
My strongest suit.
You let out a little giggle when you say it.
I am as intimidating as a kitten.
Yeah, he kind of looks at you and just kind of shrugs. Listen, I thought we were going to go and talk to my mother. She's much more likely to have the answers that you're looking for.
I mean, that is true, Rare. We are planning to go and talk to his mother. You're welcome to come along.
Rhea says, yes, I think this is a good idea.
Okay.
This one seems a little too eager to go and talk to his mother.
But he's probably hoping that once we've got him onto his home territory, he can call guards and escape, have us killed, all that sort of thing.
I'm sure.
He's like, me? Would I do a thing like that?
So
Yes, you
obviously,
would.
it makes sense to, just cut his throat as soon as we're in the gates. That's the
Palkas
smart
pulls
plan.
out a dagger and starts like moving towards him with as you say that. Says,
I mean, maybe we could just take the head and say, someone asked us to return this. Can we come and get it, please?
I can do that.
We'd have a guaranteed fight on our hands.
Yeah, definitely.
He says, if you're
Not
going
to mention trying to get through the city carrying the severed head.
It wouldn't be
We
the
have
first
several large sacks.
Yeah.
time.
It's Baldur's Gate. They don't care.
We managed to sneak 3 big chests through the city too, so
Just don't wear orange and green in the same outfit and you're golden.
Those colors don't go good together.
Precisely.
What time of day is it?
That's water deep.
just some red paint on the backs.
What time of day is it? It is, what, afternoonish?
We've spent a good long amount of time beating on this guy.
So what you guys want to do?
I'm gonna go crash your dinner party.
I'm
Well.
gonna follow the rest of the team.
Palkas says, Rhea, you seem like you're out of your element. I suggest you keep a lower profile than you already have.
Is putting ourselves at the mercy of this potentially very evil Duke really the best course?
Well, I'm not sure putting ourselves at her mercy was the plan.
If we march in with this one, who is probably going to betray us at the first chance,
Yes.
to have an audience with this Duke, if things go badly, she calls every guard they have available.
And we burn their
And
house down.
whatever else she might have there. That's what I mean by putting ourselves at her mercy. I'm not saying let's not do it this way. I'm just saying it's not our only option. I prefer an option that maybe gets us out in and out with our skin intact.
Do you want to discuss other options while these ears are hearing? And he kind of does a flick to Amrick's ear.
I'm not worried about him. He'll be the first one to die if he betrays us.
When?
Yeah, true.
Ears are an interesting point.
I may have spared his bodyguard, but this one, the bodyguard was just doing his job.
Do you think if we delivered his ears, we could get his mother to come to a meeting? Do you think she values her?
I think we need to go to the estate. The question is, do we want to try to sneak in, fight our way in, or meet with her?
I mean, we need
I
maps, that's the thing.
think that it would be more likely to end up with fewer corpses if we knocked on the door instead of kicking it down.
Then let's kick it down.
I'm just saying, let's consider our options before we...
I mean, I'm all for sneaking in. It's just to plan sneaking into somewhere, you need to have an idea of what you're sneaking into. And we can't trust any intelligence who popish idiot.
So far, we've worked without a plan, and it seemed to have worked out.
All I wonder
Didn't
is...
you lose somebody in the dungeon?
That's a little detail.
Oh, yeah!
All I wonder is...
He was small, though. He's a little guy.
Oh.
Let's say we are able to talk to her. What are we going to talk to her about? Yes, you're overthrowing the city.
Well, we don't
Then
care
what?
about that.
What's the point?
They actually kind of do care about that, but
I mean, okay, let me be less all-inclusive.
if she's planning on taking over
I
the
don't
city
care
and
who
dragging
rules
it
Baldur's
into
Gate.
hell, then yes, we care. Or at least I do.
If she's planning on dragging Baldur's Gate into hell, then yes, that's a bad thing. That should be discouraged. But if she just wants to rule it above ground, yeah, that's okay. So my main concern is to make sure that she actually didn't have Elturel dragged into hell personally and just kind of made use of it somehow.
But you really want somebody who may be aligned with the Cult of the Dead 3 ruling the...
The Dead 3 are children. They're just angry, pouty little godlings going, yeah, stab, stab, stab. I mean, really, who cares?
Yes, and that they're also the ones who killed Flynn.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true.
You keep
Hard
forgetting.
Aren't they also the ones that have been responsible for disappearances in the...
Yes.
Yes.
But that was part of this whole taking control of Baldur's Gate thing.
They also tortured Vendetta and her unnamed friend.
That did seem rude.
Palkas looks over at Amrick and says, I can't stand torture.
He says, well, that's good to hear. That's very good to hear.
The torture does have its uses from time to time.
I prefer a quick death.
He says, don't we all? I mean, my ideal? Sleeping on the couch, perhaps? Bottle of brandy?
I can kill you on the couch with brandy.
Not quite what I had in mind.
I'd actually prefer skinning him like game.
That's
Yeah, that
gross.
I agree
Yeah.
with that guy. Amrick says.
I feel that we're getting slightly off track.
Quite.
What is our objective?
That's my point.
I feel lost in our direction.
I don't actually have an objective, I guess, is what I'm really trying to say.
I
I'm
thought
kind
you
of just following you guys.
Yes, that's what I've been doing too.
I mean,
Everybody's following everybody and nobody's going anywhere.
I think we have to figure out what we're trying to accomplish here.
we got that vial.
No.
We didn't get that vial.
So,
Amrick says, Vile?
And
actually, since
Your
Since we're
I
vile
don't want to
show.
know.
since we're talking about torturing people, I also have this bag of beans.
Well,
And see some fun effects.
Ooh, that could be interesting.
Amrick's looking very worried, like, what's the bag of beans? He's-
They're really
Something
nice.
you may not want to worry about.
Palkas looks very nervous upon the beans being pulled out, which probably unsettles him a bit.
Look,
I wonder if the
brother
fact that
was-
Thorn's an elf helped him survive eating one. Might not work the same way on a human.
I'm just unlucky. My brother was murdered 4 weeks ago,
Oh,
and it's kind of been a bit weird since then. So, if you think we ought to be stopping people dragging cities down into hell, then that's good. I can roll with that. That sounds good.
yes. Are we doing it on our own or with the power of the city behind us?
Oh, the city doesn't seem to care.
See, part of the problem is that technically Duke Van Thamper is the power of the city.
Yeah.
And when you say power of the city, Rhea kind of goes, like she's like, this place, the power of this place. She says, you can just leave Baldur's Gate to the rats.
Palkas says,
Yeah.
Sniffles
we
out.
We
are
could
the-
also leave the, El Terrell to the imps.
Yeah,
Palkas says, we are the rats. And what I meant is, if you're not with them, they consider you against them. And I don't mean that we should be them, but at least try to gain their support. If you follow, I don't want the full force of the city coming down on us because, and he elbows Amrick, we decided to go on a murder mission for him and his mother, thinking this would fix things. I would like to have a more definite objective.
Amrick says, I don't recall hiring you. What are you talking about, half-orc, going on a murder mission for me and my mother? Or my mother and I? Says,
Says you're not in the position to ask questions.
I'm thoroughly confused, he says.
So he looks at the rest of the group. And he's like, so what should we try to achieve here? A bit of subtlety to save the city? Try and rally them towards our cause?
The thing is, now you ask, what do we actually hope to get out of visiting his mother? Other than maybe a nice cup of tea.
Rhea says, I want to find Thavius Krieg. I've heard she's got him.
Who is this Krieg again?
Yes, we told
Okay,
you.
so
Thavius Krieg?
Okay, did
Try
you
spelling.
tell?
So,
I'm confused again.
you would know, anybody who, again, we're going to go back to, sorry, who's been in Baldur's Gate,
Yep.
you know kind of the general stuff about Elturel, right? And Thavius Krieg is the High Overseer of Elturel.
Oh, so we're probably down in hell then, isn't it?
Says, no, this is, this is why I'm investigating. I have heard that he was spotted traveling in to Baldur's Gate with 4 guards from the Van Thamper family. She says, I don't know if they had him against his will. I don't know what's going on. All I know is what happened, what I saw happening to Elturel, and now you tell me Elturel is in hell, and the Overseer is here in Baldur's Gate. None of this makes sense. She has the answers, if he does not. And she points at Amrick.
Yes, probably. But, I mean, if his city is in hell, he's not the Overseer anymore, is he? Or, he's the Overseer of a big smoking pit in the ground.
She says, he is still, I still consider him my leader. Says, I need to know what happened to him. If he's being held against his will, maybe he knows something about what happened to Elturel. Maybe he can help me find, the answers and return the city.
One way or another, I think our objective
maybe.
isn't so much stopping the overthrow of the city by the Van Thampers as much as stopping what happened to Elturel from happening here and how it happened.
At the very least, we need to find answers to what's going on, what we've been all seem to have been drawn into, and those answers seem to lie in this one's house.
Okay.
Right, well, let's do it then. I mean, it works for me.
Do we want to go right away? Get some rest first? Go in the morning? What do we want to do?
well, we were rested when we came out here, weren't we? So
Yeah.
I kind of think we should be
We should be good to go.
pretty much ready to go.
Well, most of us are. Not all of us. Not that spells matter too much to me. Because remember I used the detect magic and then I used the spell here, so.
That's true.
Yeah.
Though I've got other things I can use, so spells aren't my only thing.
Would a short rest help you, Nobby? Do you get any arcane recovery or anything?
No, I can't regain anything off a short rest. And honestly, I'd rather, if we're going to go, I'd say let's go. The longer we have this one, the more chance he's going to cause us problems.
I mean, that's
Okay.
true.
The longer we hold him, the more chance there is he's going to get annoying.
That's
He
also
already
true.
passed that point.
And the more chance
Oh, he's alright.
gods will certainly come and look for him.
At the very least, how about we make our way toward the house.
I think we should, at minimum, not be having this conversation in a dirty bar.
You
That
prefer a
was
clean one?
kind of my point earlier, but anyway. So are we agreed to at least make a move in the direction of this one's house?
Yes.
Yep, I will happily just follow it.
What's to become of her? And he points to Rhea.
She says, I'm coming with you.
Yes, but just don't
Keep it
be
down.
all ballsy about how wonderful your hellbound city is, eh?
Just keep it
Try to
down.
keep a lid on it.
She kind of like
Oh yes, but I
grits
just
her
gave this
teeth
shit.
a little.
But at least it's still on the prime material, huh?
Let's
She
everybody
says-
relax.
She says, for now.
Well, that's
She's
all I
welcome to
wanted
come.
say about
Be
anything.
useful.
But we could
She
probably get money if we turned you in.
She needs
So-
answers. We're not going to turn her in because it's not.
We're not going to turn you in. Just don't be a pain in the ass.
She kind
Don't
of
cause
grits her
issues.
teeth. You see, like,
That's
the
the
jaw
spirit.
clench.
Just
Just-
really don't cause issues for yourself or for us.
Her face
That's
is hardening.
simple.
Like, she's just like.
Oh no, we've put a teenager's nose out of joint. How will we ever cope?
Someone grab the wretch and let's get out of here. And by wretch, I mean Amrick.
Yeah. Palkas like kind of hefts him to his feet and starts waddling him over this way. In the process, he pauses for a moment, opens up the belt pouch that he has, pulls out the Flaming Fist badge, reaches out, puts, not knowing, not showing what it is, he holds his hand out to Rhea with like a closed fist, like, here, take this. Does she take it?
So you've got your hand around, so she can't see what it is, right? And you're
Correct.
handing her something.
Correct. Like
She kind of like
he's expecting her to.
looks a bit confused,
He says, "Take it,"
and she puts her hand out.
and he sets it down, and he just kind of opens his hand and says, "Follow me. You're not a Hell Rider." He says very quietly, "You're not a Hell Rider anymore.
She says, "Well, no shit."
You're
She
part."
says, "How do you think I made it this far in the city?"
Says, "Well, obviously it's because you're part of the Flaming Fist," and he lets go.
Oh my god. She's just like full of attitude.
Well, the first thing she told us was that she was part of the Hell Rider, so it's like, jeez.
Yeah, that does seem like, hi, hand me a grenade.
Seriously. Says,
Well, you did have Amrick in bonds, one of the Duke's sons. So she's kind of,
mm-hmm.
taking a risk that you're on the other side of the argument.
Well, she didn't
I'm on
exactly
no
show
side.
love. Anyway, let's go. Let's
Yeah,
go.
we're just argumentative.
All right. So so you're heading straight to the estate, the family estate.
That's the plan.
Into the posh district first.
Okay. All right.
Into the
Let's
what?
see how that goes. The expensive district.
Oh,
Sorry.
no worries.
It's where the snobbish sorts live.
Need to blow my. Anyway. Okay. So how are you planning on? Are you just kind of like marching through the city with Amrick and just kind of, or do you want to try and like hitch a ride, or you're gonna?
Yes, if we could get some kind of, passing conveyance of some sort, that'd be useful.
Is there city transportation?
Yeah, you could. I mean, not like public or anything, but you could certainly like kind
Hire a
of
carriage.
exactly
Yeah, that's
load
what I-
up and.
Yeah, that makes much
Okay.
more sense.
I mean, we are in the docks district. If there's not wagons like everywhere, something is going on.
Right. Yep.
I think that would probably be the best way to transport him from A to B without raising too much suspicion.
Okay. All right. So you kind of spend a little bit of time looking around the area to find a likely transport. And after asking around a little bit, you will find somebody who's got, let's say, like a cart full of cabbages. And you're
cabbages.
Exactly, cabbages.
Oh, this is so gonna get blown up.
And they are welcome to. They welcome you to kind of, for a small fee, to jump in the back, and they'll drop you off somewhat closer to the posh end. As
That'll do.
How fast does a carriage go?
Slow, especially with cabbages.
I'll walk alongside.
Okay.
I don't want to smell like a cabbage for
No,
the next
no.
day or two.
Into the cabbage now. Okay.
Amrick,
doesn't like to
however, is
smell at
going
all.
into the back.
Yep.
Cabbages are healthy.
Well, Coyra is happy to be with some kind of plants.
Yeah.
Has been a while since there was some kind of greenery.
Okay, let me just check
Although
the
the bad house had some greenery too.
settings on. I think I got this set up already. I just want to check, make sure I've got the page settings right.
Oh boy,
Actually,
I feel we're
I'm
going to be
move you
teleported
back
soon.
to that map for a moment while I do this.
Zoom back in a bit.
But, okay, fog of war enabled, and then let me copy and paste your tokens, and then we should be good to go.
Copy and paste. Does that mean we're being cloned?
Yes.
Copy. All right.
Just
So
what
there's
the
a
world
version of us still in the dock district, and there's a version of us going into the posh district.
Yup.
Alright, so the cabbage vendor will drop you off somewhat close to the gates to the upper end of the city. The upper city. And it's more like actually here.
Oh.
So probably kind of drop you off in this main thoroughfare, that's kind of in between. So drop you off there and asks for a couple of silver for the trouble.
I'm sure
problem.
he'll pay. And
I'll give him a couple
Coyra
gold.
points at the guy. Forgot his name.
Amrick.
Yes, that one.
He looks at the gold and says, "I don't even want to know." And,
Just take it with my thanks.
okay. And you can see that at this gate to the upper city here, there are guards posted, and these are city guards as opposed to Flaming Fist. They look quite uniformed, and they are armed with some basic weapons like short sword. And they're kind of like, as people are, they're not checking so much as people exit, but as people enter this, try to go through the gate, they do kind of stop and question them, and you see a couple of folks are turned away, and some folks are allowed through.
So they're there to keep the riffraff out.
Of course.
Now, do we qualify as riffraff?
Oh, totally.
Oh yes,
You were
That's
just in the
what
back of the
Amrick thought.
cabbage cart.
where we can use the badge of the Flaming Fist to say that we're
Look,
escorting him.
This is one of Amrick's jobs. It's nice and simple. There's only a few of them, and they're not very scary. If you can't get us through the gate, you're of no use to us, and you die here on these cobbles.
Look, beams.
And if you try to yell for help, you die here on these cobbles.
beans will quickly handle it, probably.
Palkas says, I don't think it would work very well if he was still tied up. So he starts to reach down for the ropes, looking for others' approvals.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts undoing the knots.
I'm gonna start heading toward the gate.
Okay.
I am ready to strike if there's any hint that it might be necessary.
Okay.
Whilst trying to look bodyguardy rather than menacing lunatic-y.
Wait, you said you untied Amrick?
Yes.
Okay.
Alright, so who's approaching first?
I am. I don't know about anybody.
I figure it would be all of us.
Yeah.
Palkas says, perhaps Amrick is trying to bring a group of workers in with him? As he says this to Amrick, gesturing to the rest of the group.
He says, whatever you prefer. Obviously, you're the brains of the operation.
What's most feasible in this situation?
He says, look, I've seen you pass Flaming Fist badges around. All you need to do is show one of those and they'll let you through.
Right.
Okay.
Palkas
There you
shrugs.
go then. Do you still have your badge, Grim?
Did I ever get one? Get one? I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Yeah, you did get one.
Yeah, he would have given you
I don't remember if I kept it or not. I never marked it down, so I don't remember.
one.
I think you said you gave it back when you reported back that you found us.
Probably. In which case, no, I don't have it.
Well, take mine then.
No, I'll be fine.
Okay.
Worst case, in a low voice, worst case scenario, I find a quiet place and I go over the wall.
Let's go.
Okay. So who's going first?
I'm standing directly behind Amrick. That's all I know.
I'll go first, since I actually have a badge.
Okay. So as you approach the gate, the guards look at you and say, "What's your business?"
I shall hold up the badge.
Oh,
I
go
shall
on.
say,
On you go.
thank you very much.
Coyra follows.
Wait.
Also,
Are you traveling like as a group, or are you going
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
one by
Yeah,
Yeah,
one?
as a
Yes.
group,
Yeah.
kind of.
As a group,
Like-
definitely.
I figured kind of as a group with like Amrick in the center, so he has no
Mhm.
room to run anywhere.
Okay. Alright. You will see one of the guards does kind of tip his hat to Amrick. And Amrick kind of nods back at him and just continues to walk forward.
Excellent. Good work.
I'd like to insight check that. See if they're trying to pass if he's trying to pass some kind of communique or something, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
There you go.
No, you don't
Okay.
know.
It's like he's just recognized as a noble. The noble.
Yeah, no
I
idea.
figured why not.
Alright.
Right. So Amrick will direct you through the rest of the streets, and you end up. Ooh,
We're
hang on,
going through here, right?
hang on. I gotta zoom in. Going through, yes. And you kind of end up.
That's 8 feet. Wow. Small houses.
They're very, very small houses. It's like Manhattan. The rent is atrocious, but you get like a postage stamp.
Right.
If you're lucky, you can afford a shoebox.
Obviously, it's not to scale.
So he directs you to this point here. You walk past some very fancy houses. They are fairly tightly packed, but the quality of living is clearly different. Where outside the walls, it's pretty much chaos at the moment. Inside the walls of the upper city, you don't really actually notice too much difference.
Yep, I remember this in Neverwinter Nights. It was pretty much the same way.
So he'll direct you over to this point here, and it is. Let me get the thing open. Stately stone house with a detached stable house that you can see from kind of a distance. Both buildings have sloped roofs covered with red clay tiles, and a 12-foot high stone wall encloses the villa. It does, looks very nicely maintained. The walls do feature kind of wooden gates on a main entrance, and what looks like kind of it looks like there's a main entrance gate, and then there's like a coach gate, so if you showed up in your carriage or whatever, there's the gate that you would be seen through. That's what you can kind of see from a distance.
So I wanted to get Amrick's attention at this point.
Okay.
And say, look,
off comes a pinky.
I'm going to be absolutely plain with you, Amrick. This doesn't have to go badly. We don't even necessarily have any problem with your mother's plans. But we do want to talk to her and do want to discover what the infernal component is in all of this, because that's just not really on. But if it's just tangential, I don't think any of us, except maybe the monk over there, really care who rules Baldur's Gate. We have no affection for the Flaming Fist or Pompous Dump Thump or whatever he's called. It's not our business, it's not our fight. You can turn this into a drama, obviously. We're at your home. And I will skew you for the kidneys if you do. But if you don't, there's no reason why everyone can't walk out of this perfectly happily. Who knows? Your mother might even gain allies.
He says, when you say you'll skewer him through the kidneys, he says, "Oh, I believe you."
Sorry, you cut out for me.
He says, "Oh, I believe you." He says, listen, what would you, and you can see actually beyond the walls, occasionally kind of passing the gate, you see, what looks like people traveling in pairs kind of walk past the inside of the gate. And Amrick says, "Look, there are guards inside, naturally," he says. So I can probably get you past them. And what, your goal is to parley with my mother?
I mean, basically, yes. She's at the heart of all of this, and we need a firm idea of what's going on. She's obviously ruthless, ambitious, probably quite evil. That's fine. I mean, she's nobility. That's just how it is. I can't speak for all of the group, but none of that bothers me. And obviously evil isn't great, but, one has to be pragmatic. It's a tiny, thin shell of a world stretched over filth. So I certainly just want to talk to her. And I think this young lady wants to get her boss back for sentimental reasons or something. And if his city really is gone, I don't see what the advantage is to your mother having him anyway. I definitely would like to speak to the Master Fisk, but I don't care if he's in your dungeons or not. Frankly, as far as I know. It doesn't have to go badly. It really doesn't. I don't think it has to.
He says, "Look, I can get you as far as the foyer." says, and that's, if you want to speak with my mother, that's where you would, where you would wait for her anyway. He says, if you, let's go there, he says, and then I will go and speak to my mother and explain your goal. He says, and then the rest is up to you.
Does this seem sane to the rest of you?
I don't trust him having a private conversation that we're not in the room on.
Well,
because for all we know, what's going to come barging into that room is going to be like 36 guys with, spears and crossbows.
Well, I mean, yes.
How about he gets us inside and then sends a servant to fetch his mother? He can remain with us.
It might prove best if only one or two of us spoke with her.
He says, what are the rest of you going to do? He says, you're certainly not going to hang out in our dining room while your friends are having this conversation.
We're Flaming Fist. We can wait on the doorstep if needed.
He says, you'll wait at the gates if you're not invited into these talks.
Fair enough. Why don't you keep
us safety in numbers, we all go. I don't trust this family.
I mean, what is there to trust?
Palkas says, I don't trust this district.
If the group decides to send one person in, then I will go. But I want the group to decide it.
I think we should all go.
If we're going in, let's all go.
Okay, cool. All of us it is.
Okay, so you're all going?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This might be a party wipe, but, that's the way it goes sometimes.
Only if Palkas cast spells.
He's harmless.
So far.
Had to be said, sorry.
He's like a little crested parrot.
Alright, so, hang on a sec. Let me move you over to the map of the villa.
Oh boy.
And I've just got you all kind of along the bottom edge. Oh, here we go. Poop.
Did you just poop?
So I've just got you kind of all along the bottom here, including Amrick and Rhea. So this looks like the main gates here, and then this appears to be the carriage gates or the coach gates. Yeah.
Well,
I think Coyra and I would probably be in the back with Amrick directly in front of us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Amrick needs to be up toward the front at the very least.
Okay, Amrick will.
No, he's got to talk to the guards.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Okay, let's do that.
Oh, that was getting funny.
There's a sudden jostling at the gates. I'm gonna go first. No, I am.
Shove. No, I
It's
am.
more like,
It's like elbows flying.
it's more like I'm gonna go last. No, I am.
Like, no, push, you go first.
Alright. So Amrick, walks up to the gates and does kind of just very proudly kind of knock on the wood of the gates. Very shortly after, guards will kind of arrive. One of them will open the gate for him, and when they see it's him, they do the bow at the neck thing, and just stand aside, kind of for him to proceed through. So he'll go in and kind of like looks over his shoulder, see like who's coming with, kind of thing. So he proceeds up to the main doors of the house here.
I'm holding the spot for.
Oh yeah, sorry. There we go. Okay. So he opens the doors to the main doors of the house, and you.
I step on her.
You step on it. Don't step on it. And here's what you're gonna see. Like that. And then he's going in. So he makes his way kind of over to a door there, and then waits for everybody to kind of come into this foyer. And to describe this room really quick, so apart from the main entrance, that's this here, this room has 2 exits, here and here. A plaster shelf lined with ornate vases circles the room at the height of 9 feet. Spread across the flagstone floor is a 10-foot wide, 15-foot long rug of exquisite design depicting a royal coronation. 2 tapestries are hung on the walls depicting dragons flying over a ship and pilgrims on a camels, respectively. So that's these here. And Rhea will also come in the room, and she's kind of like kind of mouth agape a little bit, and then she, for just a moment, and then she like quickly kind of back to business, and the guards will close the doors behind you.
What was the actions and responses of the guards? Like, were they just accepting of us coming in with him? Were they looking?
They were a little bit like, you saw some side glances to each other, like,
any of
who
them
the
run
hell are
off
these
immediately?
people? So yeah, you see some kind of like, what the hell? Like, who's Amrick dragging in with him this time, kind of thing. Some sideways glances. It's gonna kind of spread out a bit. So Amrick says, wait. He opens the door.
One moment, Amrick. Just a quick personal question, if I may. Do you like your mother? And I wanted an insight check on
Yeah, I was about to say insight.
He says, she is my mother. He says, do you like your mother? He says,
no. I mean, I hardly really knew her. I mean, she's alive, don't get me wrong, she was just never there. Non-entity.
He says, yes, my mother is very much the same. He says, look, she is an ambitious woman with a lot of city business to attend to, and has been like that my whole life. So, do I like her? I barely know her.
Okay, I understand that. Thank you. Just curious.
So he opens this door here, and he calls Fendrick, and you're an elderly gentleman, Thorn. You can kind of see over his shoulder a little bit into this room here, and you see an elderly gentleman approach, and kind of shambles, well, not shambles, but kind of creakily walks forward, and he says to Fendrick, these people are here to speak with my mother. He says, perhaps you could be so kind as to notify her, let her know that they are waiting. And Fendrick says, I really think you should deliver this news, sir. And Amrick will kind of glance back at you, Thorn and Grim, and he's just kind of like, and then he turns back to the butler and says, I don't think that is possible.
I will say over his shoulder, forgive us, we just need a little more of Mr. Van Thamper's time. Lord Van Thamper?
In case I didn't say it, upon us entering this room, Palkas has like this permanent grimacing sneer on his face upon seeing the rich environment and everything. He just like constantly just looking around like that.
Okay. Alright, so you're Oh, I think we just lost.
Yeah,
I love how the... Oh, stickies now, Coyra.
1 second, folks. Technical difficulties. In the meantime, it looks really lovely. Kashcah is chopped into a million bits and displayed
great.
on everyone's face.
Coyra changed into my plushie. Look at it.
Okay, so Amrick will kind of like, kind of give Fendrick this kind of like go on motion, and the butler kind of disappears from view around the corner.
Ah, he's coming back.
Ooh.
Thank you, Amrick. You have been very obliging.
And everybody's back in their proper spot.
Yay.
Yeah, my internet completely went out briefly.
Well,
No
welcome back.
worries.
No worries, indeed.
Okay. So there's this kind of awkward wait now. Amrick will kind of stroll over to this like shelf here and kind of like,
Since it's quite awkward, Coyra pulls out her pipe with bubbles to try and break the awkwardness a bit. And she starts blowing some bubbles.
okay.
Palkas walks up to Malvola during this time and says, "Oh, I've been meaning to talk to you. I've been observing you with your breath weapon, and I think I've been able to work out a magical means of such. Not as effective as yours, mind you, but still. Just conversation, you know."
I'm
Speechless, apparently.
honestly, I'm trying to think of how he would react to that, because I don't know. It's a weird thing to say to somebody.
Yep.
You know.
That's Palkas.
Interesting.
That's about the response he expected, actually.
Good for you.
Yeah. There's just a little bit of head nodding, and then he goes back to sneering at the walls. Start wondering if his face is going to freeze that way at some point.
Okay.
And then he's like, cabbage, and he grabs one of the tapestries and starts like wiping it.
Amrick will say, "Oh, please don't."
I love that he's not complaining about his bubbles.
Says what? They're giant towels for wiping and drying, right?
Amrick just says,
They're
and comes over
pretty,
to the
but-
door again. Fendrick! And Fendrick, sure enough, Fendrick will return. The butler does return. He says, "Sir, I regret to inform you, but your mother is not home." And Amrick says, "Oh, how incredibly unfortunate." He says, "Well, he kind of turns and looks at you both, Grim and Thorn, and says, would you allow me to go and speak with my brother instead?"
What do we think?
He is her favorite. At least I think
I'm
that's...
thinking we don't let him out of our sight. And this brother can come and speak to us if indeed the mother is not home.
Oh no, Amrick is the favorite. My bad.
I thought Amrick's brother was the favorite.
No, the other one
No.
is the one that doesn't leave the house much.
He says, "He is not likely to come downstairs. He says he rarely leaves his room."
Then perhaps we should go up and talk to him.
Yeah, why don't you go and say hi?
Amrick kind of rolls his eyes a little bit and then says, well, I think it's time that we conclude this farce. And he is going to try to swiftly exit the room out of this door. So, Thorn and Grim, you can have a reaction. Once you realize that he's making a dive for the door.
What's funny is he'll never get away from me. I
It's,
marked his scent while we were at the tavern.
it's the
He's
consequences.
He has
60
no
feet
idea.
of me. I know exactly where he is.
Well, it's possible that the ranger also put what is it, his mark on it as well. So
I don't know if it'll work,
Eventually.
but what were you going to do?
I just said I didn't hunt. In fact.
No, what I was going to say is I don't know if it'll work, but the whip will come out and try to tangle his feet.
Okay.
I'm just going to stab him.
Palkas
I
is
mean-
wiping his face on the tapestry.
That's not very good.
So it was a very convenient timing.
Okay. Actually, you both miss. So he dives through the door, and you see kind of a smirk on his face as he slams it shut behind him. And now let's roll initiative.
Hooray.
Coyra's putting the pipe away.
And I need Amrick's sheet back. Oh, except I recall it was kind of messed up. There he is.
Palkas says, "This suddenly seems very familiar to just before I went to prison last time."
And then Rhea. And lastly, one other thing to do.
I'll be right back.
All right. I think that's everybody, right?
Maybe.
Does the butler need
I
anything?
think so, but I'm not sure.
I don't know, you're gonna murder him?
I don't know. Is he going to fight?
Well, let's
we're
put
gonna
him.
figure out that he was murderer all along.
He was one of the people on the
Not
list.
Alright, let's give him a initiative just in case he needs it. Okay. Okay. So oh, one sec. There we go. So
Come back.
yeah. So the first thing that happens is appearing instantly in the four corners. Well, not quite four corners, but instantly in the room are some entities that you did not know were there. So they appear instantly, and then they are going to attack.
What actually are they?
They are here. I think I have a handout actually. Here,
Oh, cool.
Out.
here's what they look like.
Handouts are cool.
Like this. Look how cute
They
they
don't
are.
look friendly.
Oh, joy.
They're so cute.
Crap, I used to have one
Look
of
at
these
their
as a
grumpy
familiar
little
once upon a time.
faces.
That is a great picture.
So they are
Do they
going to...
happen to count as animals?
No.
They do not.
These are definitely not
No,
animals.
they'd be more comfortable in Avernus.
I mean, it was worth a shot.
Just remember, look at the little tail that they have, what that might resemble.
Uh-huh.
And that's actually what they're going to use to strike first.
Of course they are.
Of course they are. Wouldn't you
Oh,
be
I didn't
disappointed
notice
if they
the
didn't?
Yes.
Whoops.
Party wipe in the first room.
So this what? If these guys get you, oh my gosh. Okay, this guy first is going to try and sting you, Thorn. And here, actually, let me adjust this so it doesn't whisper the rolls, because that's just annoying. So he gets a 19 to sting you.
No.
That hit.
Okay. So that description is broken. That's great. So you do need to make a save versus poison, which is Constitution save.
A constitution.
Okay. Then you take the 5 piercing and 8 poison damage from that guy.
Gotcha.
You're very quiet when you speak.
Oh, sorry.
No, good.
Okay. This guy is going to attack.
Question.
Oh god.
How does poison work?
Same as regular damage. Some
Okay.
people have certain vulnerabilities or immunities to it, though.
So this guy is going to try and attack Rhea in the corner here. And he misses horribly. Palkas, you have a new friend.
Yep. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be making a con save. Oh my gosh. No.
Are you not?
He got tangled in the tapestry.
Oh, and then who does this guy attack?
Be right back.
So we'll do Grim is 1, Malvola is 2, and Coyra is 3. Sorry, Coyra.
That's fine.
He misses anyway. So.
Like I said, it's fine.
Alright, so that's them. And Grim, then you are next.
Well, since the whip is already out, I'll attack the one, or make my first attack against the one attacking.
Okay. That hits.
Ooh, nice.
Okay. Wait, was it this one or this one?
Yeah, the top one, the one that was attacking.
Okay. All right. So you whip him good. Exactly. And yeah, you look like you took a nice chunk of damage most of his life, or at
And then I'm
least
going to step over here. Would that put me in within 10 feet of the one attacking? What's her name? Ray.
yeah.
I'm not sure how it works with diagonal.
Same way as it does straight.
Yep.
It's the beauty of it.
Yep. Apparently, physics is all fucked up.
It's simplified for D&D.
Yeah. Oh, yep. That hits us up. Okay. And this one also.
And that ends my turn because that was my bonus action.
Okay.
Very nice.
Actually, I am gonna just re-hide this. Sorry, but the door is now shut. So.
Of course, I just made myself a big target, but
Alright, Fendrick is doing his thing. Coyra.
Coyra obviously uses her scimitar against the one right in front of her that tried to attack her, and since she doesn't immediately seize any wood, she actually has some faith in her skills.
Okay. Oh yeah, that hits.
Oh, nice.
Then I click on the word, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dang.
Nice.
a lot of sevens.
Yeah.
And how does the bonus action work again?
So bonus actions you can do. Well, as you attack with your scimitar, you could cast any. If you've got cantrips that say that they take a bonus action, you could do that. Or trying to think if there would be anything else that would be a bonus action for a druid.
There could be spells, there could be cantrips, there could be.
Unfortunately,
actions,
like
but-
monks and fighters and that sort are about the only ones that can attack multiple times.
So if you
No, I was just wondering.
yeah, if you have a spell that's a bonus action, you could do that.
Let's put it this way, I don't know if I have a spell that
Okay. Okay. No worries. It should say like in the description.
It
of
would
the
say in the casting time,
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, casting time, one bonus action there, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
those types of spells you'd be able to cast as a bonus action.
Then I'm gonna use my new spell.
Ooh. Okay. I like new spells.
Wait, what?
Oh.
What did I mess up now?
No, that's good.
Okay.
Okay, so this, you evoke a fiery blade in your free hand. Okay, so now you have like the fiery blade and your scimitar.
Okay, and how do I
Oh,
use the fiery blade then next?
so on your next turn
Turn.
you can attack with that instead of your scimitar if you want.
Next turn I'll ask how I'll do that again.
Okay. Alright, yeah, no worries. Palkas.
Well, this thing's right in front of me, right? It's not like flying 10 feet above me or something silly.
It is flying up in the air, but not like out of reach. He was just trying to sting you, so.
Alright. It's not necessarily. It's fine. He's still gonna he's gonna just like heft the maul, and he'll try saying boom and try swatting this thing up against the wall as best he can.
Okay.
So let's try the maul. Nope. It's too slow for how fast these little guys are. And that's all he's got.
Okay. Malvola?
Sorry?
Oh,
That's it.
Malvola?
I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast on the one attacking.
Sorry, which one?
Yeah.
The
On
one
this-
to my left.
Okay.
Ouch.
Yep,
I think that might have hit.
that's yep.
Yeah.
Do you want to give a description of how that works? Of how you just totally obliterate that imp?
And how
Have
we're
you ever
now
seen a
wearing its
Gallagher
guts.
show?
Gotcha.
Like I said, and now we're wearing its guts.
So the imp just kind of explodes with this eldritch blast, and bits of imp now cover the tapestry that was hanging on the wall. It has some extra, decoration going on.
I'm sure there's some on that fancy rug too.
Yeah, yeah. And there's some on you guys as well. Yeah, bits of imp
Yeah.
everywhere.
No, I noticed that.
Got some in your hair, Coyra.
Yeah, that's
I don't have any in my hair. I don't have hair.
Alright, anything else you'd like to do, Malvola?
Who's next?
Thorn, your turn.
okay. I am going to take a stab at the one attacking me.
Okay. That will hit.
Okay.
Glad everyone else is hitting.
Nice.
Yeah. Very good. Jeez.
Okay.
That was with the rapier imp kebabs.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
But because I have Dread Ambusher and this is the first turn, I can make a second attack if I attack this turn. So can I move the 5 feet and then attack
Yeah,
this one
totally.
as well?
Yeah, totally.
I should do so then.
With flourish, you can spin on your heel and skewer another.
Ooh, nice.
Kebabs indeed.
I can
I've got
toast them.
bonus, I get a bonus D8 damage as well.
And when it comes back to the imp's turn, there's one lonely imp.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So that's a total of 11.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's very dead. And you do have like an imp build-up on your rapier now, if you if you're so
The rapier
inclined.
is suddenly a lot heavier.
It's kind of bending under the weight a little. Okay, so Amrick is doing his thing as well. And Rhea just kind of like looks at you, Thorn, and looks at like your handiwork, and kind of she's gonna take a 5-foot step over here and see if she can help Palkas out with this one.
Yes, please.
She's got her longsword in hand and swings it. Oh, damn it! Hang on. Sorry, they're all marked as like whisper rolls, and that's just annoying. Okay, she did hit, and I don't know if this will show up. So she does 9 slashing damage. So this imp looks like it's just clinging to the last bit of its life, basically.
So on the stake scale, it's just shy of being charred.
Yeah. Exactly. So then the imp's turn. The imp turns invisible. It doesn't have a super high intelligence, but yeah, okay. So it turns invisible and yeah, it's gonna kind of do some stuff.
Well, that's not fair.
What about this is fair?
Alright, Grim.
Get up, Grim.
Well, since it disappeared, I don't want to attack blindly.
What?
I'm gonna.
Who
You
are
want me to attack in your direction blindly with a whip? I'm actually gonna hold my attack in the event that it shows up again. I'm gonna stay there toward the middle of the room, and if it shows up again, the whip is coming out.
Okay. Sounds good. Alright, Coyra, anything you would like to do?
Coyra would be very eager to use her new flaming scimitar. It is a bit disappointed that the creature disappeared, so she's gonna hold back with whacking before she accidentally burns any of her friends.
Okay. Right.
So you're like holding it up like this, and suddenly the
Let it-
tapestry behind you just starts crackling.
I mean, I don't really care about the tapestry. It's full of whatever that thing was. I'm just
Yeah,
doing
that
them a
tapestry's
favor.
lost most of its value just in imp guts.
Right.
I'm only doing them a
never gonna come
favor.
Imp Guts, notorious for staining tapestries.
Heat cleaning.
Just gonna have to steam clean it. Palkas.
Front doors, did they have windows in them?
Nope, they are wooden doors.
Okay.
Big, kind of
Oh, no.
ornate wooden doors.
My enemy.
Jeez.
And I have a flaming scimitar this time.
So Palkas holds his action to attack something with his boom attack, like he has been, until either the imp shows up, or he gets attacked by the imp, or perhaps one of the exterior guards comes through the door within range.
Okay.
So basically, until he's got a target to attack, or if he gets attacked by something invisible, he'll try attacking in that direction.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
It does. Alright, Malvola?
I am basically just to the door that the guy had went through,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm making sure it doesn't open, or if it does, there's a response to that. I'm holding my action at the door.
Okay. So you're just kind of holding it shut, basically?
More or less.
Okay. And Thorn?
Is there any bench or desk or plinth or something that we could block the front door?
There isn't any furniture in here. It's just this shelf, that's kind of up high with all these ornamental vases and tapestries. Tapestries.
How happy would those vases be?
Sorry, what?
The vases, don't look very heavy.
Is there a door by the
There is, yep.
Well, if I can move past it, I'll see if it opens.
Okay. Here, I'll just move her out of the way for convenience sake. It does open. You
Okay.
having a look in there? Sorry, are you gonna open it?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. You see what looks a lot like servants' quarters. It's a undecorated, entirely undecorated room. Contains 4 single beds and a kind of simple-looking dining table. There are drawers, you notice, under the beds, but it's a very simple room.
Okay, I'm gonna on in 20, 25, 30 and open and look.
Okay. So you're opening this one as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So that we do this. So you see in here, are you opening it like wide or?
Oh no, wide.
Okay. Alrighty. So this goes kind of all the way back here. And let me get your description of what you're seeing here. So, this actually, as soon as you open the door, it smells like roast dinner. Like it smells delicious, actually. And you can see that that this actually is the kitchen. Okay? And let me open it the rest of the way. And pacing around the kitchen is
A cat?
a cat with wings. Let me show you this.
That's not how cats are supposed to look like.
So
I actually kind of like it.
it's pretty
I
big,
want-
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty big, and it kind of it just looks at you for a moment, Thorn, and then kind of like curls up, or kind of would probably like make its way over here next to the fire. Curls up. Oh, well, no, it might just sit there, right, and wraps its tail around its feet, and just kind of sits there looking at you.
Call out to it. I say, do you know the way to the dungeon?
The cat kind of like looks at you, tilts its head a little bit, and starts walking over to you.
Okay.
So it doesn't say anything back, but does kind of like make its way over.
Okay.
Kind of hops up on this table here.
Pushes something off.
Yeah, pushes something off. Glass of water.
It's a cat.
And then you see oh no, actually let's save that for a little bit. Not just yet. Okay. So cat kind of looks at you, seems to have some kind of like almost recognition what you're saying, but does not respond.
Oh well, that's a cat's for you. That's me.
Okay. Alright. Ray is gonna follow you into this room. Okay. Then the imp's turn. So suddenly, this cat, right, leaps up into the air and tries swatting at something.
Had a feeling something like that would happen when Thorn started opening doors.
I mean, that antechamber's a death trap.
But you
It doesn't
gave
make
the
any sense.
invisible imp an avenue to get away.
Would you rather I kept it locked in with you? This bit can attack me well away from you. Fine.
So so appearing on the floor in front of you is a dead imp. The cat kind of pounces on it, and oh my gosh, too
That's
many
hilarious.
tokens. And then you see it kind of launch itself into the edge. There's this pounce, and then the back feet are kicking, and and then it just kind of like picks it up in its mouth and looks up at you.
Good kitty. Thank you very
I
much.
like this cat.
Yeah. I think the last imp's dead, chaps.
The cat does have a collar on, a little name tag. Okay.
Belphegor.
It says, "This reads as explosive runes goodbye."
The name
Do not
tag.
feed.
That would blow up the
Explosive.
cat.
Explosive. If you can read this, you're about to dead. You'll be dead.
It just says do not feed.
After midnight.
Or it has the description from a claymore. This side toward enemy.
Yeah.
Just hold it up, walk around. No, the name tag reads Slobber Chops. Slobber
Oh.
Chops.
I like it.
That is an excellent name.
I will praise Slobber Chops.
Okay.
So with the imp dead, are we staying in initiative? Or
It's up to you. Do you? I don't need you to, I guess. But if you want to take any other kind of like attack actions, then. Or let me rephrase that. I don't need you to unless you're going to do any other attack actions.
I hadn't planned on it.
The only thing Coyra does is persuade a flaming scimitar in.
Okay, I will definitely call out that I think the last imp's dead and that there's someone here Coyra should meet.
I'm going to come over here to verify that the last imp's dead.
Palkas listens at the front door.
Yeah, this guy has kind of regrouped with his friends over here, right? They all have reassumed their post, so but you guys don't know that, so so make a perception check, actually. Sorry, I'm like telling you stuff. Yeah, you don't hear anything outside.
Okay.
Not even like the backwards and shuffling or anything like that. Like
Palkas calls loud enough that he thinks the rest can hear, but not any louder than that, saying, "It doesn't appear any of the exterior guards are coming in." And he looks at Malvola, who's at the other door.
I'm gonna, I'm just gonna throw the door open and check out the room.
Okay. All right. So one moment. Let me just want to do that there and. So let me open this up for you. So that's, guess what you see? More tapestries. So this room has black curtains drawn over the windows of this south wall here, keeping this area kind of fairly dark. So there's, you can see some tapestries hanging, like a tapestry hanging there. What surprises you, you're almost like, like I thought that he said she wasn't home, but there's a statue of a matriarchal kind of looking woman here, and in her arms she's cradling this big cat thing with wings. Looks like it's got, and this big cat thing with wings actually has a rat in its mouth, and you can do, you're startled by it because it's right there and it's very lifelike, but then you realize that it is actually a statue, but it's fully like color, like it's like a waxwork statue, it's full color.
It's painted?
Yeah, like
Wow.
it looks very lifelike. It's not like marble or anything like that. You think it is like a waxwork statue.
Whoa.
It's what? Sorry, you cut out at the end. for me.
It's like a wax statue
Okay.
of this kind of slightly elderly looking woman.
Okay.
But she's standing in an incredibly kind of like proud stance, nose almost kind of like in the air, and then she's cradling this this big oversized winged cat looking thing that has a rat in its mouth.
Now I have conflicted feelings about the cat.
Okay, I have just 2 questions. Is the cat as scarred looking as the picture?
Let me look at the picture again. 1 second, I think.
She's
think it
missing.
is.
And it looks like
part
it's
of
missing like part of its ear and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it looks like it's a bit of a bruiser.
And is Amrick anywhere within 60 feet of me? If he is within 60 feet, I'd know.
No, he is not.
That means I'm going to have to sniff him out. I'll bend down, kind of give the cat a scratch, say, "Well done, little warrior."
He kind of like does the thing where he like pushes into the scratches. And then he gives you a bit of a nod at you when you say, "Well done, little warrior." Or at least you think it's a nod. Did that cat really just nod at me?
I'm going to pull a little bit of jerky from my rations and offer it to him. This will probably taste better than that.
Coyra actually looks at the others and is like, if you want, I can try to talk with the cat. Maybe he can give us info or anything we might want to know.
If you can.
Actually, a really good idea. Definitely.
Okay.
His name is Slobber Chops, or possibly her name, but I think
He's adorable.
So Slobber Chops will gives the rat one more good shake and then tosses it aside, and then will takes the jerky from you quite daintily and chomps on it a bit.
I'll give him another pet
So
while Coyra's casting her spell or whatever.
Yep, Coyra is gonna use Speak with Animal.
Okay.
And she's basically gonna ask the questions the others want to ask the cat, is what she will relay and give the info back.
Okay. So actually before you
Where's mommy?
before you cast that, I'm going to share with you that you don't you consider that for a second, and then you think about how this guy has wings and he doesn't seem to be like a natural kind of beast or animal, so you don't think that spell would work on him actually, because he seems to be like beyond a natural animal,
Yeah, that's actually a fair point.
yes, trust your intuition.
Yes, indeed.
Kind of like Grim isn't exactly a natural animal.
I mean, communicating with Grim is already hard, so...
And you guys don't know about his other side yet.
Coyra actually looks at the others and is like, I don't think it's gonna work. Something feels odd about this. While he's adorable, he doesn't feel fully animal. I don't think it will work.
Well, he seems to be able to understand. Do you understand? Looking at the cat, do you understand?
He kind of looks up at you and nods.
That works.
That works.
Are you loyal to this family?
He kind of does a
I didn't think so.
big cat eye roll, which is really weird to see on a cat actually.
So is Mama home?
While this is going on, Palkas is moving over to the windows and taking a look outside to see how the guards are reacting.
Are you doing that stealthily?
I guess he'll probably stay off to the side and try peeking around the corner, not like
just
standing
half
to...
orc just walks up to
We aren't talking about Palkas.
Nothing suspicious at all.
No, nothing suspicious here.
We're just still waiting, so.
Make a stealth check.
There you go.
Okay.
He'll keep most of his body out of sight, but he got this giant maul like in front of the window, and he's forgotten that it's sticking out.
Okay. So this one here does kind of seem to notice you. Like, or you see him like do a double take at the window, and like then he kind of frowns and kind of turns to pay attention to it.
What do you mean turns and pays attention to what?
To like he was facing like this way, you know, and then he kind of like does a double take at the window, like seeing Mole, and then he kind of turns. So you have his like full attention.
Oh.
Like
This way.
he's looking at the window like full on now. Before it was just kind of in his peripheral vision.
So I obviously see him. He obviously sees me.
You know I'd be happy.
Palkas says the guards are aware that we're inside and free. And he just turns and says this nonchalantly, now standing in front of the window.
Okay.
So
But they watched us go in. They haven't started dashing. Probably. Question mark.
I don't think we have much time before
No.
we'll be joined. Malvola, have you found anything?
I found a statue of an old woman with a cat. With a weird cat.
Does the cat have wings?
Yes.
That would be this cat.
And to answer,
Like, you found the cat, the actual cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that explains some things.
He's really cute.
So adorable.
I think we're losing focus.
Sorry.
So Grim, when you ask Slobberchops, if its mother is home, Slobberchops just kind of like stands up, swishes his tail like and turns kind of and then will just like hop up on the table.
Okay, I'm not sure how to interpret that. Let's go with an alternative and let's sniff out Amrick.
Okay, can you sense him?
Okay.
That's what I'm using, so. And since we haven't taken a long rest, it's still active.
You always know the location of the creature. Yeah, he's like, you kind of like take in the air for a moment, and you don't find any kind of evidence of him being within range of you. Ooh.
So he must be sort of over here somewhere then.
In that case, I'm going to try.
If
The
he's
best
outside,
option would be to start moving
nowhere
around.
in
I
the
doubt
house.
he's left the house.
So,
Yeah.
if he's within 60 feet, he's inside the house because the house isn't that big.
Yeah. Unless it's really tall.
But you got to
Oh.
consider upper floors, lower floors. All that gets taken into account.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like 6 stories.
Yeah.
Did you just say this house is not that big?
Yeah. And not only that.
It's not
these
60 feet.
guys
I lived
Had
in
a
a
hidden
5-foot
chamber.
cell for 3 years.
These guys also had a hidden chamber below a bathhouse that was massive, so
But
who
that's
says they
maybe
don't have one
relevant.
here?
What are you used to living in?
Okay, since these doors are close to, or in the same general direction where Amrick went, still sniffing the air, I'm going to throw them open unless they're locked.
No, they're not locked. So you throw the doors open.
Basically, I'm going into tracking mode, as it were, trying to track him down.
Is this where on the other side there's a cannon and a guy putting a torch down on the fuse as the door opens?
Not quite.
That's okay. I'm pretty sure I can dodge it, and Thorn might be.
Alright, so you see kind of the other half of the room that Malvola's in, and Malvola stepping into the room, you'll see this as well. So there is, over at this end, obviously, big staircase going up. Let's see, what else? You do see kind of like various art on the walls. An eclectic collection of tapestries and paintings. It looks like it's supposed to be impressive, you know. Yep,
Tapestries.
and that's it.
Can I have a look through the door that I'm standing?
I
Yeah.
didn't catch anything that he just said.
You want to look in here, basically, right?
Yeah.
Coyra is just petting the cat at this time.
Yep, he will stand there and kind of like leans into all the pets, like, so nice. So this looks like a pantry. There's lots of food and drink stored on the shelves.
Cool.
Some nice cheeses. Delicious. Lots of jammed preserves, jar preserves, whatever. Jars of jam.
Very
Jams and jar.
tasty, but not really what we're after.
You sure about that?
Well, no.
Maybe these are souls that look like jam.
Soul jam.
Soul jam.
I want to find Thorn's gold for Lester Fisk and talk to them about that book. And from what Amrick says, he's locked up somewhere. And there has to be a cellar, so he's probably in the cellar. And cellars are often linked. So I'm hoping that maybe he's buying all.
How much of this are you saying out loud, or is this just your internal dialogue?
I'm kind of muttering it to Coyra and anyone else who listens. I'm not making a thing about it.
Coyra is really not paying much attention. She's just focused with the cat. So
I will call out if I find what.
Okay.
sorry, you
Until
can
then, I'm
actually.
just puttering around.
So Palkas, you see this guard who turned to face you, kind of like elbowing his, like nudging his friend here, and like pointing at the window, and his friend kind of like turns and looks, and so does this friend, and they're all kind of like looking at you now, and you see them like conversing backwards and forwards a little bit, and then this guy starts walking in this direction.
Is the window open?
No.
Is it openable?
Yeah, probably like a sash window, you know.
Before the guy would have started walking away, like while they were starting to converse, he would have tried to open the window.
Okay, yeah, you could open it.
And he would actually call to them.
Okay.
Which way to the privy?
Go on, what you gonna say?
He would say, "Ice knife."
Okay.
Well, they're grouped up, you know.
Alright,
Like
so
trying to get their
This is
attention.
going on.
He's like, "All right, I see that I've been seen. Hold on a second. Let me
I
just
should- I
open the
probably
window."
would've moved it.
Oh.
So.
Amrick wanted me to tell you something. They're probably like, "Who the heck is this guy? What's going on?"
They are kind of like looking at each other like, what?
Yeah. And he would have as Ice Knife is supposed to be like aimed at a target, and then it hits all those within 5 feet, he would probably aim for the center here and avoid that one would not get an extra 1d10 piercing damage, and it doesn't get a to hit attack. It would just do the exploding damage in the area around it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think
so. Instead of actually doing any attacks for the central target, it would just default to the dexterity saving throws for everybody around it.
Okay.
So, oops, I just clicked the wrong button, which
Wrong
would be
button.
that.
Okay. Alright, so they need to make dex saves. So, ooh. Okay.
Oh, but sorry, it would have been at a higher level than that. I'm sorry.
Oh. Sure, I would have.
I'll leave it like that.
No,
That's
it's fine. It's fine. I'm just messing with
Would
you.
have
Go
been
on. What did you want to do?
An extra d6 would have been in there.
Okay. So do they take half, or is it negated when they pass?
It's negated when they pass.
Okay. So this guy passes.
Okay.
So does the next guy. Yep, they all pass.
And if they weren't suspicious before,
Yeah. Palkas
I mean,
turns over to his shoulder at that moment, letting the window just kind of like slide down or close or whatever. We've got company coming, and starts moving away from the window.
Okay.
And that would
I
be-
have to go with a full frontal assault. Why?
Wait, Ice Knife is a cantrip?
No,
Okay.
it is a regular spell.
Come on then. Do it. Do the thing.
No, hold on. I gotta do the roll the 20, the d20. It is an
Okay.
8.
Alright.
It is not the surge.
Got off this time.
Okay.
Alright, let's roll some initiative.
These times our luck's gonna run out.
Ah,
see, Coyra is just distracted by the cat. You can see it on the roll.
Were you opening that door down there, Malvola, by the way?
Ooh, that's a worse
I was
roll
going
yet.
to, but
But shit happened.
Yeah.
But Palkas decided to make some new friends.
Well, I think that's happening kind of while you're opening the door. So let me give you a quick description of that room. Because you may still... I'm not quite sure you're aware that, that Palkas has just stood shit up.
Picking a fight.
Picking fights with guards. So this is a parlor, basically. High-backed chairs with padded cushions and a coffee table. Thin drapes cover the windows. They're kind of like diffusing the light, you know? So you can't directly see out. It's like, it's just kind of like a very thin fabric, you know? And there are, of course, tapestries. Hey, everywhere there's tapestries.
Nice have with that.
The other place was a bathhouse. This is where they kept all the towels.
The walls.
I mean, they have a cat. What do they expect to happen?
Maybe the cat's got wings.
Indeed. You can just imagine it going.
Flying up and sliding down. There are portraits on the walls of various people as well. You see quite a few kind of men, right? And then you do see one of the cat that you know, seen now in statue form, and heard that your friends have found. Okay.
is this a door?
That is a door, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Anything anybody else wants to do that's not too metagamey before we kick off this combat?
All I was doing was sniffing around trying to determine if Amrick went upstairs or...
Okay. Yeah, no problems.
What Coyra does is she looks like half over Palkas and it's like, what did you just say?
The guards outside are coming inside.
Oh no.
Let's get Rhea on that.
Why are they coming in?
Because we're intruders in their house.
They didn't know that.
They do
We
now.
came in with Amrick, so why do they think we're intruders?
Our conversation's longer than 6 seconds. I'm not answering yet.
Alright.
So it's kind of in-game, out-of-game.
Rhea looks at you and says, where, move out of the way, she says, actually. She kind of like pushes past you. She has her sword ready to go. And she's kind of like, she'll come and stand in the corner over here, and she's gonna, kind of like, she's hiding in the corner, trying to take them by surprise or something. So,
That's a good idea. Thorn will follow it down.
Slobber Chops is going to stay where he is. And then the guards. So they are going to move rapidly inside.
I want to have closed this door.
Okay, sure. Okay, is it just me, or does it really bother people when they don't face the right way?
Oh no,
Yeah,
it bothers
yeah,
me.
totally.
When they're not
Okay.
facing like this, it's like
It looks like they're standing on their head.
I thought they were just derpy.
So they'll okay, so they move up here, and this guy opens this door.
Actually, the door would probably still be open.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was
okay.
still open.
All right,
Yeah.
that's a good point. So hang on, let me roll a stealth check for.
how does the door open?
Thorn opened it and no one closed it.
Yeah, no. I mean, does it open to
Oh, like,
this side or to this side?
It would open out actually, like on, so it opens like
Into the servants' quarters.
So into here?
yes, actually into here.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like not really enough room in there to move very much. Okay, so he doesn't see Rhea. She's like pressed up against the wall. So he doesn't see her there. But he does see you, Thorn. And let's see, what does he have? He has a spear, and I don't think he has enough. Hang on. Yeah, he doesn't have enough action left to use it though. So you see he's wearing a chain shirt, he has a shield, and he has this spear. But he's gonna kind of stay where he's at for now. This guy will open this door as well, but again does not have enough action really to do anything. So Grim.
Excellent.
Gonna come down here and whip it good, hopefully.
This is very off-putting. You're like, oh.
God
damn it.
Whips the statue by
See,
accident.
that's what threw off my attack.
Yeah, totally. She's like glowering
Second
at you.
attack.
Oh, that hits. Okay.
So he opens the door and gets a whip to the face.
Yeah, he does. Yep. He's taken a chunk off his off his leg. She does kind of look like Margaret Thatcher, as you know. You say that. What is that? Palkas.
Stop! You're scaring me.
Didn't realize I was going so soon.
Yeah, so much for that point.
Thanks.
Oh, you think you're stealthy?
No, I don't. I have no skill with it. I get straight up dice roll on that, nothing else.
What you doing, Palkas?
Palkas is going to move from here to the foot of the bed. That would make more sense. He's not going to stand on the bed.
I think I know what's about to happen.
And
Yep.
He takes out a torch.
Didn't see that one coming.
And shoots it straight ahead.
Okay.
So let's roll the dice. First I'll
These
do
poor
the roll for
guys.
that, and then I'll roll the other one. Yep.
I had no idea what the day was going to be like.
Nope.
Just had their eggs for breakfast and
Just a level 1.
comb their hair,
And my d20
and now they're going to take a
is a 3. There you go.
torch.
Okay, that's a little too close.
They're about to have a terrible day.
They're about to have.
Well, it depends on whether or not
He
which of
failed.
them
He
fails
failed.
their dex.
11 bludgeoning. And it-
Oh goodness. Yep, he is dead.
Wow.
Good work.
See, I told you they knew we were here.
Palkas was just trying to help him give him some more fiber in his.
With that guy going ka-thump, he goes, "Oh look, 2 more."
Anything else you would like to do? I think you've got a bit of movement left if you want to use it, or Rhea kind of looks at you like, I was totally gonna kill him. Kill thief.
What are these guys wearing?
They're wearing chain shirts and shields
alright.
and have a spear.
Yeah, I think he's gonna just kind of play it close to the chest on this one and be done.
Okay. Alright, Coyra.
Coyra first looks at the cat and says, "I'll be back." And
cat-
she
Nods at you knowingly.
moves to the room, readies her scimitar for when someone walks through.
Okay.
She's gonna whack.
Okay. Cool. Alright, Malvola.
Okay. I'm going to step into the doorway, directly facing, like, "Hi, how are you?" I'm not saying that, but that's... What I will say is, Palkas,
You cut out.
of course. Palkas, pay attention. And I will use my breath weapon.
Oh crap!
Wait,
What kind of range does that have?
30 feet.
I'll need to type it out as I might have
I
misunderstood.
thought so.
This is how
Yeah.
he gets a close up.
Yeah.
Figures it out. Gotcha.
So,
Breath weapon.
why?
Oh, but
Is
bread
that
weapon
not-
would be
I
fantastic.
mean, attacking with like.
It's not a bread weapon.
Imagine attacking with like the long bread. Whack!
Thank you,
Chicken in
Discord.
with a baguette.
Exactly.
Why is there not, like,
Indeed.
I'm totally picturing a baguette as well.
Same here.
That was what I was picturing already.
bread is pain?
Hey, you never know. The guards might have a gluten allergy.
Yeah, I mean, very much.
Ah, why do I always have terrible rolls on that?
That's just for the
so-
damage, right?
They have to make a dex save against a DC 14, or they take 4 points of damage. If they make the save, they take 2.
Okay. Right,
What kind
so-
of damage?
Electric, lightning.
Ah.
It still looks
At the
like
very
it.
least, their hair's now standing on end.
So this guy fails. This guy manages to pass. The guy right in front of you. I think he sees you like inhale and is like, "Oh shit!" So he kind of like manages to dodge it a little better than his
Oh, so
friend.
as he ducks, the other guy goes, huh?
Exactly, just full blast in the face.
Hair. Smoke coming off the cheeks.
Yeah, there is. He's kind of smoldering a little. Okay, Rhea is going to charge in and stand over here to attack this guy a little bit more. So she is going to clave a longsword at him. Oh. Yeah.
We
that. Oh wait, nope, that doesn't quite finish. He takes a massive kind of like slice through his upper torso, but is still kind of like clinging to life. Alright, that's her. Slobberchops is just sitting there.
Licking his foot.
Yep.
Foot, sure.
Thorn.
I'm going to step to there and shoot at this one with my bow.
Jeez.
Okay.
Pincer attack.
Yeah, seriously.
Spore
these guys.
guard. It was just a normal day.
Rubbish.
That pings off his shield,
Yes.
manages to deflect it.
Get back out of Palkas' line of sight.
Jeez.
Alright, the guard's turn. So their friends are going to moving on up. So they kind of make a run for the door. But let me see how far. Yeah, okay, that's their turn.
Oh shoot, there's more.
So yeah, and there's a bunch more back too.
And then this guy at the front is going to try and jab you with his spear, Malvola.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, every freaking time. Whoa, what?
Hmm?
Sorry, it's alright. I just have to turn the stupid thing off. Okay, let's try that again. Oh,
Ha ha.
misses horribly.
Don't laugh at the DM.
This guy is gonna try and hit Rhea back. Oh,
See.
manages to hit the NPC. She takes 5 damage.
Is she dead? Is she injured?
No, she looks much beefier than these guards.
Okay.
Actually, when you see them side by side, it's like, okay, wow, she does really. She did not skip leg, arm, or any day.
Okay.
Really.
Excuse me.
Okay. And that's it for them for now. Alright, Grim.
Okay, how far into the door is Malvola?
I'm a little
I'm-
afraid of that. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a risky click.
I have to do it. I'll take the bullet.
I'm just trying to figure out if I can get a whip attack past Malvola. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway.
It's the area he threatens. It's just you can still attack through it. It's not a problem.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the benefits of reach. I mean, that's why rifles like in the Revolutionary War were like 8 feet long. Is that you could shoot past the guy in front of you by putting it over his shoulder.
I take it since they're wearing chain shirts, that didn't hit.
That is correct, yes.
Dude.
Whoa.
Yep, and that will finish him.
As the whip cracks twice past Malvola's head.
Slightly alarming, but Marvel. And then, yeah, the guy just seems to kind of like finish bleeding out and collapses to the floor. Palkas?
Hold on. One second while I...
Oh, I thought you were...
I was just thinking if he goes with another catapult, Malvola's in a bad spot.
I was thinking the same, like, it's gonna hurt.
No, that
It'd be a case of Malvola, how good is your dex save?
Remember my sneak check? For my stealth check? Yeah.
Uh-oh.
If you were to go with catapult, you better hope the
How's-
guard.
How's this guy looking?
He looks almost dead.
Palkas raises he's of course got the maul in one hand. He raises the other hand, and from it a ghostly hand appears, and
Ooh.
chill touch on the guy hopefully will hit.
Okay.
Let's roll. It's a cantrip.
Okay. Damn it.
That'll do.
Yeah, and that's necrotic damage, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's just kind of like yeah, your ghostly hand grasps at him, and yeah, around his neck maybe, and this just kind of grayness spreads from it very rapidly and overcomes him, and you see his eyes turn white as he drops to the floor. Kind of like,
Very impressive.
okay.
We're getting a pretty big collection of corpses in this room.
I mean, one of them is not really a corpse laying down. It's like scattered all over the place.
That's true.
Suddenly, this quote keeps going through my head. If this was a diplomatic mission, where is the ambassador?
He's over there.
Bits of
Some of them
them
down here.
All right, I'm done.
Coyra.
Oh, I just had the most disgusting thought. Grimace barefoot.
Oh yeah.
I stepped in it.
It's a little slippery.
In between the toes.
Mm.
Ah, no.
Impish toe jam.
Oh god. What would you like to do, Coyra?
Coyra looks into the room, sees that everything that might have been a danger is no longer a danger, and just returns back to the cat. And says, I told you I'll be back.
It did look just like a massive mess in there. It's like, yeah.
Yeah,
They're never getting that out of the carpet or the tapestries or
or the floor.
Would she have seen
What used
the
to
guards come?
what used to be a foyer?
Yeah, actually, what? Oh yeah, the doors were open. Would I have seen them?
Yeah, I think you would have been able to see them.
Okay, then I didn't do that. I didn't realize the doors were open. My bad.
I mean, do you have line of sight there? Just about.
There's a
I
door
was standing
there.
about here when I looked.
Oh,
Yeah,
there is
there's a door here, so
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll leave it with you.
If I didn't see them, I'm going back to the cat. If I saw them, I'm just telling the others. More company.
Then
Perception roll.
yeah. Yeah,
that's
let's
what I was thinking.
sounds good. Can you do a
What?
perception roll, Coyra? See
Yep, I can.
if-
If I can find it.
Maybe you'd have been aware of their presence just from the noise that they were making. Okay, no.
Oh,
I got cat.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Right, Malvola. You do
Well,
see.
the opportunities for this just keep coming.
You do see
Love
like
it.
Rhea is turning like she looks like she's about to kind of launch herself. So you're aware that
And she's out of range.
oh boy.
oh boy.
Here it comes.
You're gonna boop, huh? Oh, it's a strength save.
It's a
Ooh.
strength save. Okay, doke. Alright, so let's start with this guy, and
That's a strength save.
That's what it says on there. That's what you've got there.
yeah.
Is it strength? Is it not strength?
God.
Please let it be strength.
Well, it says strength.
Yeah. Says it.
It is a strength save.
Yes.
They all failed. So
Awesome.
so wait, they all take 15 damage.
Yes.
Wow.
course, if there are any more guards outside as they're patrolling, they're going to see the bodies outside.
Okay, that was very effective. One might say it was super effective. Yeah, they're all dead. They. Do you want to describe how that goes down?
You ever seen the movie Men in Black? Do you remember when Jay helps deliver the baby?
Gotcha. Okay.
Great work.
I'm going to grab this one and drag him into the room.
Okay.
I kind of feel bad for these guys. They were just on their job doing what they were
I'll come
doing
down
and
and give them a
poof,
hand,
dead.
dragging them into the room.
Okay. Alright, so you drag them in.
Coyra just has dead focus on the cat again, unaware of what's going on around her.
Palkas would help with the last one.
Okay, so you bring the last guy in.
Palkas should, since he brought them.
And he proceeds to close the doors.
Okay.
Yes.
At least the front doors.
Yep, so there are these very dead guys just slumped, propped up against the wall now. Yeah, wow. Okay.
Oh, we could always pull the tapestries down and wrap them up in them.
I have a feeling Amrick is quite some distance away by this point.
Yeah, he's gone.
We'll see.
I mean, it doesn't really matter if he is. We don't really care about Amrick when you get down to
Except if I said that if he betrayed us,
Oh, yeah.
I was
yeah,
going
I
to
mean,
kill him.
We need to find him and stab him in the kitchen.
I'm a
so
man
it
of my
doesn't
word.
really matter.
But while we're here, let's continue searching for answers.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Thorn still wants to investigate that door.
Also, probably a stupid question. What is this exactly?
Wait, what were you? Sorry, what were you pointing? It's like a big storage cupboard.
Okay.
This
Palkas
room?
asks Rhea if
That's a
she's
pantry.
okay.
There might be something that Mr. Slobberchops wants from either the pantry or the cupboard. You might better help feed him some forbidden snacks, Shay.
This looks like an episode of
Forbidden
Scooby-Doo's about to
snacks.
happen.
I have some plans with this thing already. I mean, I feel bad that it's trapped inside. Let's just say it like that.
Okay, so you open this door, Thorn, and you see stairs going down.
Ah, in that case, I shall call out. Aha, the cellar! I think maybe that's where they're going to have this Philaster Fisk locked up. His name was on the paper, he might know.
And you're opening this door, Malvola?
Yeah, that was my intention.
Everyone open all the doors at the same time.
I take it these are doors in front of me because I'm planning on opening them too.
There you go. So you see, this room is a big fancy dining room, basically. A wrought iron chandelier is hanging above a black oak dining table, surrounded by 8 high-backed chairs carved to look like devils, because that's super subtle. A fireplace dominates one wall, flanked by red curtained windows. A handsome glass-doored wine cabinet stands against one wall.
Well, that's good news.
And hiding under the table are a couple of what look like servants.
Hello! Come out of there!
Hello!
Oh no!
The entire bread comes out.
That's gonna be a minute.
So you see, so this person climbs out a little, kind of crawls out from under the table, and you see she looks quite young. She looks like she's wearing kind of like picture Downton Abbey, you know, kind of like the bib front with the apron and black
Scullery.
Yeah, well, kind of a little more like housemaid than scullery, but
Okay.
yeah, she's very kind of like that's what she's. But she looks quite young. Maybe a little, maybe around the same age as Rhea, actually. And then this person kind of will crawl out a little as well, and she's a middle-aged woman, and she has like a kind of cloth hat on, and what looks like a cook's apron and kind of cook's clothing, basically. So they kind of like, they're almost like, they're just very tentative, like, very scared. And they say, "What is going on?"
Amrick has earned he's made some very angry people very angry.
Double angry.
I see your charisma bonus is more a pretty thing than how good you speak with the peoples.
I have words good.
It might be time to consider seeking other employment.
Seeing that this door goes back to where we already were, I'm basically just going to like right back.
Yeah, I think actually, and Grim is already open. When you kind of walk over there, you see Grim's got the door open.
Yeah,
and
standing in the
standing
door.
in the doorway.
Okay. Back to the servants. I'm like trying to think of how to say this.
You're fired.
The lady probably does not require your services for the rest of the day. You should leave.
I say, the maid will speak up and say, "I can't go anywhere." Says, "He will kill me if we leave. If I leave."
Who will?
She says, 1 second. Oh, sorry. She says, "She will kill me if I leave." Not he. She says, "Well, Duke Van Thamper." Says, "I can't leave my employment. Says, may as well be dead."
Servants tend to hear things that and aren't really paid much attention to. Do you know if your mistress has been associating with cultists?
And the
Their decorator knows that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get
right.
further verification.
The red curtains and the black tape.
Yeah, I kind of figured, but
Very
I just want to
subtle hint.
confirm.
The statue is literally a pentagram. I mean, look at the map.
The cook is like frowning at her, and she's like elbowing her, and the maid is like, the maid says there's some very strange things going on, that's for certain. But the cook is like, elbowing her, like, shh, like, like you're not supposed to say, kind of thing.
The decoration is
You may
clearly
want to
southern
remain
sword
here or
coast.
find
It's
someplace to hide.
very refined. Very innocent.
I'm sorry, what was that, Vallen?
I was saying it's the decor is very southern south sword coast. It is very in right now, and
You're in a room with 9 bodies.
we're just adding.
To the two women, you may want to remain here or find someplace else to hide. You may not have to worry about your employer much longer. Her actions may result in bringing down her house around her.
The cook says, "I'll remain here, thank you very much," and she kind of like retreats under the table.
Suit yourself. Just stay out of the way.
Okay. The maid seems to be like not quite sure what to do with herself at this particular moment. So, Malvola, could you make a perception check, please? And actually, Grim, could you make one too?
Nice.
You both hear movement from upstairs.
I'll just glance at Malvola and point up. Kind of like questioning, shall we?
Thorn, Coyra. There's something going on upstairs.
Ah, a basement. There's something going on downstairs.
Let's split up the party. What's the worst that could happen?
Meanwhile,
I
Palkas is out
think
front
we should-
going, this is what happened last time.
Are you
Grim's gonna stealthily
okay?
head up the stairs.
Okay, stealth roll. That was going to be my question.
So, with Coyra being completely
mostly
zoned
stealthy?
out, with the cat, she didn't properly hear what was being shouted, and she just assumes it's fine.
No, Thorn would have said, come on. There's stuff to do.
Okay. She follows Thorn then, a bit confused, like, what? Why?
More
But waves
killing.
at the cat.
Rhea will exit the foyer as well.
She doesn't want to stay in the charnel room.
I mean, it's so lively in there.
Right. So cheery.
I mean, with all the new redecorating we've done,
Yeah?
There's bright
Wait,
colour
wait.
everywhere now.
Like red paint, some splashes of paint blobs.
The thought that just crossed my mind, but I'm not gonna do because I don't want my alignment. There's 8 chairs at the table. There are 6 dead guards in the living room.
Wow.
have the two women join in the empty chair.
Oh yeah, they can go at the head and the tail. And then you can set the imps along the table, like, bunch.
Candlesticks.
Yeah, candlesticks.
Is the statue that Palkas is next to, I realize you said it was like a waxwork, is it adjustable, like he could remove the cat from her grasp?
You don't think you could do that without damaging it?
Damaging it, like it would leave an empty spot where the cat was, or
damaging it, like it seems to be kind of like the supports of the statue are like kind of embedded within this.
Okay.
So
I feel he'd leave it. He'd just try and like
melt it.
I'll just keep
You
moving.
could melt.
Just put a torch there. By the time we're back, it's gone.
He was considering flinging the waxwork cat at her if he ran into her, but
I would have loved to see that.
thinking that would have more psychological damage than anything else.
Oh,
But
The
no.
thing is that she knows the cat can fly.
Exactly.
So that might not be that surprising of a thing to have the cat just like.
Slobberchops is following you, by the way, Coyra. He seems kind
that's
of
amazing.
interested.
I don't mind.
Like this is the most interesting thing that's happened all week.
Come, Rhea, let's go.
As usual. Okay, so you're heading upstairs, Grim. You're kind of sneaking up there.
I'm trying to be sneaky.
I'm gonna move your token over to here, and what you see at the top of the stairs are, and you can, they haven't noticed you yet, so you can kind of like stop part way up, but there are 2 further guards. They do seem to be kind of like ready, but they're also kind of like looking down Sorry, do you see where your token is, by the way?
Yeah, I found it.
Okay, cool, thanks. They're looking down the hallway this way. So they're looking in this direction. I'm not turning them though, because that's just... It's not right, man.
Just a FYI time check.
Yeah.
If nothing else, I could get at least one surprise attack in. It's already a foregone conclusion. We're going to have to at least incapacitate everybody in here. So,
Okay.
Because our diplomacy skills are non-existent.
All right.
And your sneaking skills.
well, then Amrick is.
Wait a minute. You're the guy who
So
picked a
everything-
fight.
Right.
That's how he
It's not our
diplomatizes.
diplomacy skill.
Mr. Ice Knife.
I wanted to tell you something. Ice knife. Oh crap.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a well-timed oh crap.
Yep, that does not hit him.
Hi, here I am.
Yep, they're aware of you now, that's for sure.
Or at least the guy in the corner is.
Yeah.
Because that's the guy that I was trying to attack, and since it's a surprise, I doubt I'd get.
I mean, you see he's got a friend. A couple of friends actually further down.
It's like 20 of them down the hallway.
They're all crammed in the last bit. It's just a big pile of guards. Okay, so this guy is
And
gonna...
I'm hoping the whip crack announced that, hey, we've got people up.
Yeah, so yeah, everybody downstairs, you'll hear Grimm's whip crack and then a rush of
And he's not retreating.
footsteps. Kind of like...
Can I see that guy from the landing?
Yeah. Yep, if you're at the landing.
Awesome.
Oh no.
I'm not sure it's awesome.
Okay. Alright, this guy, that hits
Might as well
him.
start lining up.
Okay,
Nice.
and he's dead. Okay. Alright, let's roll some initiative. Because they do get to retort.
I knew the good initiative rolls wouldn't
Did
last.
you want to do this now?
Yeah, if it's okay with everybody else, I'd like to keep going just a little bit longer.
I'm cool.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yep.
No.
Now, of course.
I think after these 4 guys, we should probably pull the.
Yeah, yep. After this encounter, we might do like a little bit, one little other thing, but then yes. Okay, so the guards sucked. Right here. Where is
So
she?
real quick, before Coyra followed Palkas, she told the cat, I keep forgetting its name, to wait. There's some trouble going on.
Okay, it sits down. Kind of like wraps its tail around its feet.
I don't want it to be in danger.
Little did she know, the cat was really the one summoning the demon.
Little do we know the cat is actually the woman.
Right, who are we missing? Palkas.
Oh, sorry.
It's alright. I know you've got
Click on me. My initiative. There you go.
okay, is that everybody? I think that's everybody.
Looks like it.
Well, there's the cat. If you want to go that crazy.
I'm not doing the cat again.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so Thorn.
Okay. I'm going to come up to the top of the stairs and stab this guy.
Okay. That hits him. Just.
Okay. And because it's first combat round, I shall stab.
Okay. That does not hit.
Alas.
Okay. Grim.
So this guy's still standing. Let's try this again.
Yes.
Is he still standing?
Barely
So,
swaying. Oh, go.
Let's put him out of his misery.
Like just a general question regarding D&D. I see Malvola and I both rolled a 5. Does it just randomly put one of us then first and then, or how does it decide that?
It should be the person who has the higher dexterity score.
Okay.
Oh, but actually it doesn't seem to have done that because I think...
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
I was just wondering how that system worked.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes by dex.
And moving to there ends my turn.
Okay. Cool. Rhea will start making her way. Oh, she's kind of... no, she's gonna just bust a move, like, upstairs. She will stand there. And actually now, sorry, you can see the rest of the way as well. Down the hallway, you see there is one more friend at the end of the hall.
Friends just keep popping up all over the place.
Also popping down.
Scientific magic.
Yeah, and quickly. So these guys are going to rush forward. And these two are going to attack you, Grim, and then the other one's going to attack Thorn. So they have spears as well. So...
Miss.
Definitely miss. And then the one attacking Thorn.
Miss.
Wow, that second one rolled like one of us.
Dang, you guys are tough to hit.
Are we
Right.
sure it's not an ally?
I don't even have Shield of Faith up right now.
So Coyra, what would you like to do?
I can move past Palkas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Up to where can I move from where I'm standing right now? As with the whole
5,
screen
10,
switch.
15, 20, 25. You could get up to here if you want to do something, or you could use the rest. If you want to keep moving, that would take your action to keep moving.
I'm gonna go up to there then.
Oh, that's a good question. I can't remember if it's the modifier or the score, Nobi. But
For what?
for initiative.
Oh, if it's a tie,
Yeah.
it's whoever's got the highest dexterity score.
Is the score not the modifier?
Same thing.
Almost.
Yeah, the score.
Okay. Right. Is there anything you would like to do, Coyra?
Coyra, I just ready my scimitar, ready to attack.
Okay. Malvola?
Do I have line of sight on any of these guys from here?
Yeah, you can probably.
Considering the
This
angle of
guy.
the stairs, it doesn't. Forget it. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I can just go there and then blast.
Very nice.
Which one?
The one in the back,
Okay.
just because
Yeah.
he's got Grim has 2 people on him.
Mm-hmm. He almost crumples from that force damage, but still manages to stay standing just barely.
Okay.
Palkas?
Palkas would like to move. That's okay. So he's standing. Is he standing right here?
Yeah, basically. Basically.
Drag him
Okay,
over.
I didn't even put that together, basically.
Hold on. Just scrolling as I go here.
You know, you can zoom.
But I'm looking at my spellbook with my other hand.
I think you can get to any of the open squares from.
Including the ones occupied by dead bodies.
Yeah, Yay! All right. So, okay, this could be interesting. Right, yeah, why not? So, Palkas is going to move over here,
Okay.
and then he's going to cast a spell by the name of Dragon's Breath, and he'll look at Malvola when he says it, and he goes like this, and then he'll kind of. I can see Nobi right now getting a little nervous, and so he's gonna cast Dragon's Breath.
Okay.
As a bonus action. And then he can use it as an action. And he can...
Oh, that's cool.
And then he's got Careful Spell as one of his metamagic abilities that allows him to basically grant people automatic passes on their saves. So I will grant that to, and I don't need to give it to Thorn, but I'll give it to Thorn as well as Grim, because it's a 15-foot cone, and basically it's the space in front of me and then a 6 square block.
Okay.
Off of that, sort of like a hammer shape is how it works.
Okay.
So basically I'd be getting those 3, but I'd also, be giving an automatic pass to Grim, who would still take half damage. He'll say duck.
Wow.
He'll try. He will use it as lightning, because that's what
okay.
He was recommended at doing. That's a 10 damage. But they have to do a Dex 13 save.
Okay. Alright, let's start at the top here with this guy. He fails. And behind him...
Passes.
And then the other poor guy is completely fails.
It's half damage. And with that, he'll then say, sorry about that, Grim.
So this guy... yeah.
And that is his turn. And he gets to concentrate on that for up to a minute and continue breathing fire.
Okay. So the one guy just expires from the damage completely. And the other 2, it almost kills them. So they're very badly damaged. And you said it's lightning damage, right?
Yes.
So yeah, it arcs between their bodies, and you see their bodies just kind of like filled with this lightning energy, and all their muscles spasm, and when it releases
unlimited power.
When it releases them, these 2 guys are still kind of like standing, but this guy just slumps to the floor.
Okay, that was it. I'm done.
Okay. All right, Thorn.
You're muted.
Oops, sorry. I'm going to have a stab at the one in front of me.
Okay. That hits.
Oh.
Yay.
I forgot.
Yeah, too late. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep,
That's
and he
fine.
is dead. Grim?
Debating which I want to attack at the moment.
Right?
To the left or to the right?
You could do a little bit of A and a little bit of
It's
column
my
B.
first time using it. I'm sorry.
We'll attack the one in front of me. You know, the guard type.
Okay.
Fair
Ooh,
enough.
unfortunately, that misses.
I was afraid of that.
Ouch.
It definitely misses. That's what happens when your friend electrocutes you. Rhea
He
kind of
would kind of glance back
Oh,
in
sorry.
Palkas' direction. We're going to have words later.
Rhea kind of looks at you, Coyra, and says, "I think they've got it all taken care of. I mean,
Yeah, I think the same. I've been trying to do something for the past, like, what, 3 times, and nobody shows up.
Question to out of character. Doesn't meta magic have an effect on potential for wild surge?
Oh, does it?
oh, does it?
I don't remember. That's why I was asking.
Ooh, that's a good question.
No, that's a bad question.
No, it's a very good question.
Naughty question.
Wild magic surge. Let me have a look at this, because I will take any help I can get.
Not that I'm aware of. It's if I use my my reroll ability to hit, like for it to hit.
Bending. Yeah.
That's when it becomes an automatic wild surge when I cast spells. The funny thing, all
I
of
couldn't
my
remember for sure. So
Wait, hang on. If that effect is a spell, it is too wild to be affected by your meta magic. Okay, so all right, that makes sense.
oh yeah, so yeah.
Like if your wild magic surges, then it's not affected by your meta magic.
Mhm.
Okay.
although if something funny were to happen to Palkas, Grim would not be.
Okay, so Rhea is just like, I'm just gonna let Grim finish mopping that one up. This guard kind of like is staggered, right? And he's like swaying and actually falls to kind of a knee and uses his action to disengage from you, Grim, and is kind of like,
that means no attack of opportunity.
it's kind of like crawling away, right? And he makes it to this door, and he's kind of like reaches up for the handle, and it appears to be like he can't open the door, you know. And he says, "Master, please let me in. They're going to kill me." And that's going to be.
That's why we hired you.
They're going to. That's going to be his turn. Coyra.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles I can move, right? At least?
Yeah. You can
6.
move up.
I should be able to reach there,
Mhm.
if I counted it correctly.
Yeah, you can reach one more if you want.
Nah, this is fine. Coyra just looks at his guard and is like, "We don't have to kill you if you just shoo."
Shoo.
Okay. I mean, you can't shoot right now.
Shoo.
I'm giving him the chance to go away
Okay.
without hurting him.
Okay. All right. Do you want to like? Okay. Anything else you want to do?
No.
Okay. Malvola, you gonna follow Coyra's lead?
Eldritch Shoo.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Alright. So yeah, boop indeed. So yeah, he's rattling the handle. "Please help me, master!" Eldritch Blast finishes him, and he just kind of like slumps to the Eldritch Poop.
Oh, there's an eldritch shoe.
Collapses to the floor and appears to be dead.
Well, at least I tried.
Yep. Okay.
So that's the door we need to break down then.
So I'm gonna break turn order for now, I think. Oh, yeah. Let's do that. Okay. So, what do you wanna do?
Does this door have a lock?
It does have a keyhole.
I will try to pick.
Okay. Do you have
I have thieves' tools and the appropriate.
Okay. Cool.
It's rubbish.
Yeah, that doesn't unlock it, unfortunately.
Fiddly. Palkas?
Palkas is walking up to Grim at the moment, and he's got like sparks shooting out of his mouth when he says this, and he goes, "I'm so sorry about that. I won't do it again." And it's like kind of shooting out because he's still concentrating on the spell.
Palkas would hear a low growling sound in response.
I understand. And he moves on to where Thorn is and says, "Yes."
Could you break the door down?
Wait.
No, don't wait.
Yes. Yes, wait.
Okay, wait.
In room D13 of the dungeon under the bathhouse, I got a key out of that wizard woman's hair. Does it unlock the door?
Palkas would take a step back if you're going to use it.
Hang on. I don't think it does, but I'm gonna check. One moment.
I have no idea what this key is for because we didn't encounter anything that was locked in that entire dungeon.
Well, we did, but Marky.
Except for those.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the key to her heart.
Nope, it doesn't seem. It looks way too small for that.
Oh, okay. Well, then. Okay. Palkas?
What are you doing?
Lightning blast on the
lightning
door.
on the door.
Because he's still got it, so why not use it, right?
Okay.
Yeah, quite.
All right.
Oh, that was cinematic.
Can you roll damage?
Yep. There you go.
Nice.
What is a blue thing?
Blue thing.
That
It's
one
blue
is-
because he rolled max on one of the 3 dice and minimum on the other of the 3 dice,
Okay.
which is hilarious.
Sorry. Okay, I see. So, the door does take damage to where it seems a little like, well, first of all, it seems like kind of, well, it's just kind of broken looking at this point, right? Like, it's not, it didn't like splinter apart or anything, but it does look like it's like fairly well broken.
He can continue for up to 10 rounds total, so I'd imagine he could probably get another shot or two at it.
Well, you think that,
Maybe.
and just looking at how broken it kind of is, it looks like it's not aligned anymore.
Okay.
So you think that, no.
He just grabs the door and tries ripping it off then.
Yeah. Can you give me like one strength roll, please?
Yep.
The DC is super low. I just want to make sure you don't.
This is one of those where he reaches for the doorknob and it just like the door falls and he's standing there with the knob in his hand.
A part came away in my hand. Either way, he steps back and just kind of motions for the door because he went to grab part of the door and that's exactly what he got.
Okay. So wait, what are you doing? You're stepping back and what?
He's stepping back because the door is obviously no longer an obstacle anymore.
An effective door
Yes.
anymore?
Okay. Fine. I would attempt to kick it open then.
Okay. Can you do just a strength roll to try and muscle it a bit? Anything better than Palkas's would be fine. Okay, yeah.
He's a bit dizzy. with his
Slightly
leg.
better.
So, so you kind of swing open, the door swings open, and we're going to do this one thing, and then we're going to call it here. So you see, this is the room you see before you. So a drab curtain, or excuse me, drab curtains are covering the windows of this plain room. Obviously it has a bed. There's an iron chest at the bottom of the bed. And there's a bathtub. So iron chest here, bathtub here, and a fireplace over here. And
Gargamel.
standing let's see, does he have a handout? Oh, he does.
He's the other brother.
That's who you see kind of like standing kind of half, well, not really standing, kind of like half crouched by the bed, is that person there, and immediately they let loose a spell flies towards you, Thorn. So if you could make a dexterity save.
Oh, there it is. Got it.
Okay. So you take you don't manage to quite dodge out of the way in time, and you take six fire damage from this little bolt that kind of streaked across the room towards you. And I think actually that's where we'll stop. Got the other brother cornered. Doesn't seem to be too happy about it. Killed a bunch of guards, and we'll continue the negotiation with this brother next week.
Anybody else want to negotiate? All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in for another episode of Descent into Avernus. Tune in next time to find out what happens with the next Van Thamper. Will he be a captive, friend, or perhaps just somebody that we...
Somehow I don't think he's friendly.
He may join his gods.
Maybe he's just confused. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming out. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.